son, you bum, yeah. AEW's done, I'm not done, I got the runs. Suck me there, suck me queer. I'm about to slap you in the face and come inside of your rear. Oh my god, the fans are back and kiss my nutsack. I'm whack. He's done, I'm not done. Alright, what a weird show tonight, AEW. Folks, we're live from the JCS compound in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Coming to you live. Chris Jericho is locked in my basement right now as we speak. Live. I'm sorry. Just kind of being an idiot. This show is a little bit bizarre tonight. We're going to talk about it. It had good moments. It had some kind of bizarre things that went down tonight. Very weird show. The fans are back, though, at the beginning. That was pretty hype, you know? The fans are back. I'm hyped up about that. And, a little bit to talk about as far as AEW goes. This is Outta Nowhere. We're going to be talking about Outta Nowhere stuff, wrestling news, and just a bunch of wrestling news. We're going to be doing Outta Nowhere. But before we do Outta Nowhere, we're going to just, talk about the elephant in the room that is AEW. And review that for you before Outta Nowhere. I sound like JR tonight. I don't think JR took his, what do you call it? What's the thing all the wrestlers are getting busted for all the time? Jake, what's that drug? What's the cocaine drug that everybody takes? It's not called cocaine, though.
I'm not sure.
You're not sure? Adderall? It's Adderall. That's the word.
Oh, Adderall. Gotcha, yeah.
Yeah. They didn't take his Adderall. JR didn't take his Adderall. It's the thing Trump takes. That's why Trump looks like $1 million and Joe Biden looks like he's about to fall asleep. Because Joe Biden doesn't take Adderall. Joe, you got to take Adderall, buddy. Okay? JR, you didn't take your Adderall today. He was a kerfuffled mess. But it's okay because Jericho was there to save him. Jericho on commentary tonight for AEW. Shout out to the chat. It's an action-packed show tonight, Kevin Carter says. The fans are back, man. Look, my headphones are busted. Now they're crooked. So now I look like I had a lopsided head every week because I spiked my headphones in my Raw rage the other night. See what Raw's doing to me, Jake? It ruined my friggin' headset.
Ruined your headset and your brain. 2 for 1.
Stupid Raw. AEW
Awful
review.
Raw.
So I guess let's go right into the AEW review so we can get that done, and then we can talk about all the wrestling news and the ratings and the things we want to talk about. Because honestly, I don't think tonight's AEW show really. I don't think it would have taken up too much time to review this one because it was just sort of kind of like, I don't know.
It was pretty straightforward.
It was straightforward, but it was weird. I don't know. It was like discombobulated, but like in an okay way.
It didn't have the flow that it usually has. It did feel disjointed.
It certainly felt disjointed, but, even
it felt longer than it usually did, too, which is something that usually you're wanting more. Tonight, I didn't feel that way.
Yeah, I felt like tapping it, like, all right, is it over? This is the first time I ever felt that way about AEW, but still good. I still liked it. I think I put it on par with NXT in a different way. NXT had the better, wrestling showcase the other day, but tonight they had the sort of the live atmosphere, the fun, that's the thing that AEW constantly has. The excitement, Jericho on commentary. What the hell did Jericho say that was so goddamn funny? I forget now.
He said it must be a Texas destroyer because he's never set foot in Canada. He had line after line tonight that was just excellent.
Oh, there was something, though, that he said. I might be able to go back in the live chat and find it. I can't find it. He said something hilarious to JR. Does anybody remember it? He said a couple of things that were funny, but there was one line that murdered me. Like I started dying, dude. I should have wrote it down. Oh, I really wish I wrote it down. Somebody drop all the funny comments Jericho made in the chat, and let's see if we can remember it, because he called Sunny Kiss her. Well, no, that's okay, because Sunny Kiss said she could be called her. She said that, and I call her she too, because I just feel like, come on, Sunny Kiss is a woman. Let's just, come on. So, but no, I'm happy that Sunny Kiss said that that's okay, because I've called him a her. And I'm like, I hope that's not insulting to him, because I just feel like, I don't know, that's just kind of how I feel. And Sunny Kiss said, no, yeah, call me her is fine. Or she actually preferred it, I think he might have said. So I kind of go back and forth calling him her and him. I can't really figure it out. But all I know is if there was a guy out there that I would slop with, even though I'm married and I like women. Never hooked up with it. It's not the Jezebel. No, it ain't the Jezebel. That's stupid. That ain't. No, it was. Oh my God, it was so funny. Oh God, I can't think of it. I wish we could remember it. It was really funny. Jim Ross said Jake was having an orgasm. Oh, really? Now, it wasn't Jezebel. Why do people think that's funny? I don't think that was funny at all. No, it was like, God, it was so funny. It was so funny. I wish I could remember it now. But anyway, Jericho had great funny lines tonight. And
there's something going on up in space.
Oh, no!
Going on up in this place.
He's here!
Weird kinda happening, strange kinda happening, things are kinda happening. What the fuck is happening?
Oh my God!
Aliens, extraterrestrials, they gave me a shot. Nanotechnology. I'm not me. You're not you. La la la. I'm fucking crazy, split personality, Scott McKinnon.
Dynamite had an amazing first hour, then completely shit the bed in the second hour. 7/10 really loved the segments with MJF and Mox and Hangman's heel turn on the Bucks. The ending was ruined because of the fucking commercials though.
Yeah, the commercials were rough at the end. It was kind of silly.
It felt very rushed too, rushed at the end. The show felt so long, but then the ending felt like, oh crap, we forgot to do this tonight, and they had no time left.
Right. It was very discombobulated, like you said earlier.
They had a picture-in-picture as, Matt Hardy was going to make his entrance. Then they have the actual match start, and they go right back into another picture-in-picture break like a minute into the match.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I felt like the earlier matches could have had that instead of saving.
Yeah, this is supposed to be your main event. It's supposed to be a bad blood feud. I mean, blood, literally, pun intended, blood feud here. And Sammy gets busted open. He ends up winning, but Sammy bled like a stuck pig. That's a huge slit he had on the side of his head.
Right. It was good stuff,
that's going to be, quite sore tomorrow. That's for sure.
We are live. I hope a lot of people probably will not realize that we are live at 11. And I don't know. Somebody sent me an Xbox code for something. I don't know what it is, so I'm sorry. I was looking at my DMs for a second. Somebody sent me an Xbox code, said I have a present for you. SG Dirty. What up, Dirty Bird? Thank you. I don't know what that is, but I'm excited to find out. Type it in. Crazy. I don't know. I'm excited.
It's
anyway,
a virus.
It's gonna be like a something. I'm on a list now. It'd be crazy. Moxley's promo was too long. Well, here's the thing. MJF murdered it. He was even a little bit too long. They were both kind of long, but
yeah, he was a bit long-winded, and he still did a great job.
No, he did, but God, Moxley is just monotone and boring at this point. I mean, MJF is so good. Moxley is. I'm playing in somebody else's sandbox. He just, oh my God, dude. He needs to go back to death matches. Give me the death matches. Please.
I mean, what was the funniest thing that Moxley did? What, called him a dickwad?
Yeah, it was like, you're a
That's where MJF, I feel like, is running circles around him. And Moxley can tell usually pretty good promos, but this was just not working.
Yeah, it just, unfortunately, MJF buried him. It was nowhere to.
Yeah, it felt like they were on two different, playing fields.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Moxley could have said. I don't know if he's got all those goon guys, and it was kind of cheesy. Like, didn't you check page 17? It was right out of WWE.
That felt again like a very raw thing to do, and I'm not sure why they would go with that, but they could have just had him demand, well, if you want, the title match, or if you want the paradigm shift gone, either or, then I want a match against your lawyer, rather than sneak it in. They were trying to be funny, but I thought it was stupid.
Yeah, I really didn't. I thought it was kind of lame too. So that was super WWE. The Moxley promo could have been a Dean Ambrose promo, so it really wasn't whatever. The only thing that stood out in the Moxley and MJF meeting was, again, Moxley looks cool. He's got a jacket on, looks cool. Yeah, man, I'm like the cool thing. Like, if you seen me, I'm the shit. I'll kill you. And that's really about it. And then, but MJF was the thing that stood out because he said all these things about Moxley that were like, wow, that was pretty damn good. And it was literally like watching Eminem diss rap a mumble rapper. I mean, seriously, like I like Moxley, but it was like, dude, Eminem just cut a fucking diss rap, and then the other guy was like, yeah, I'll fuck you up too. Like, I don't know. Like, and that's what it was kind of like. It was like a no-win situation for Moxley. I mean, unless Moxley...
Yeah, what he said.
Moxley just, the whole thing was, yeah, you said all that stuff, but guess what? Page 17, like, that was the whole point, so he didn't need to cut a promo. But I feel like they just kind of buried him. And I mean, what was Moxley going to say? Like, you know, you run your mouth, you know, you're a little short guy, you're a little tiny guy, you got a little tiny ring, you got a little tiny head, you got a little tiny body, you know, and in the ring with me, I'm going to show you, you're going to feel how tiny you are, because in your head, it's swollen up big, and you think you're this big somebody, never done a damn thing in this company but win a little ring. And that's perfect for you. It's a little ring for a little guy with a little brain and a little head, but you got a big head and you think you're big. And at the end of our match, you're going to realize just how small you are. You look small to me, you seem small to me, and you're going to be a peon when you step out of the ring with me. You might even end up in the hospital. In fact, I guarantee you're going to end up in the hospital. All right? And I'm going to humble your ass like you've never been humbled before, you little piece of shit. I'm going to break... Which arm am I going to break, MJF? Choose one. Which one, you a lefty or a righty? You know, he could have gone into all these things. He sort of just said, that's going to leave me with more options to hurt you and stuff like that. It was just kind of like randomly generic. So anyway, like, I think he was fighting a no-win situation. So I'd have to give MJF a 9 on his promo. Give him like a 9 on his promo, or an 8 or something like that. And I'd give Moxley like a 6 or a 7 on his promo. Luckily, he was able to hang and kill it because he's a professional. He's really good. For the most part, and he's, you know, he used to cut promos that were a little darker and deeper than what he was cutting there. It was very bland, but safe. Like, okay, like 6 or 7 out of 10 for Moxley. Good stuff. He's the good guy, so he gets the benefit
especially
of the cheers.
with how deep MJF was going. You know, all the guys you idolized, New Jack, Zandig, Sandman, Onita, they were all hot garbage, you know. I grew up studying real legacy, you know, Buddy Rogers, Ernie Ladd, Tully Blanchard, and he you know, kept going in. Now, the lawyer did a really good job yet again. He was good last week as well. I will give him credit.
I mean, he's a little over goofy, but that's funny. Like, we get it.
I thought he sold just enough to the point where it worked, where it wasn't like overly ridiculous. Because he obviously believes in MJF, but he doesn't want to get his ass kicked by, you know, Moxley either.
Right. Yeah, he's kind of like the Robert Stone of AEW right now, which, I mean, that character's been done a lot from a lot of people, but...
Yeah, tons of people have pulled that role, but it works. It fits.
I just, man, I would have thought if I was John Moxley, I would have been like, damn, I got to cut something. We can't let this guy just shred me. Like, this ain't going to happen. Like, he needs to get up and start screaming. Joe
he should have been more passionate and... I mean, even getting the line about, you know, Renee, MJF kind of snuck in there saying, I'm single.
Yeah, that
Moxley
was good.
Stood up, but he should have been more passionate post that.
Well, and the whole thing was he, like, can't touch anybody, so they're trying to get that going. I mean, it's just, like, I don't know, dude. Like, I would have thought of something. I would have said, dude, if we're going to let MJF go out there and shred me, I don't care what's in the contract or how I sucker them at the end. Like, I gotta have some kind of dangerous talk, you know. And his dangerous talk and his response and his rebuttal was, you know, which bone am I gonna break? Which body part am I gonna break? You know, but that just wasn't, you know, it really, I thought, demanded more. I think Moxley should have been like, dude, I gotta bring it. You gotta let me go off and cut some kind of sick promo. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like, because you just knew that, like, this guy's gonna go in on me, and I can't just, like, or maybe he just thought, you know, listen, MJF's gonna shred me, so there's nothing I can do about that. Let's just make it look as good as possible. But I just found myself like, that's typical Moxley or Dean Ambrose promo, okay? And MJF went, I mean, dude, if you were scoring that on a promo and you were checking off the boxes of the oh shit, dude, like, you would be checking off the boxes on MJF like crazy. By the way, I'm a former, like, I was a super Dean Ambrose fan. I was a super Moxley fan when he came to the WWE in the first place. You know what I mean?
We were excited for him and the stuff he was supposed to do with Mick Foley that never panned out.
Bro, there was years ago when I would cut promos and people would go, dude, you kind of remind me of John Moxley. And I would go, who? or whatever, and they would show me the promos of this guy, and I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I see what you're saying. Now I'm older than Jon Moxley, but I'd be like, oh yeah, he's kind of like, I get the vibe you're talking about. I'm like the midget version of him because I'm only 5'10". Moxley's like 6'2" or something. So I was like, wow. So I was always interested in this guy. Then when he came to Dean Ambrose, people would say that. And he really cut these dark promos and these introspective promos and these interesting things that he would do. But in AEW, he's just kind of like, all right, bro, like I'm going to tell you what's up and that's about it. Like, it's cool. And he just has that vibe. And I think the thing is a lot of people like that and he works out and it's kind of cool, but he just doesn't take it to that next level, like ever. The only time I've seen Moxley take it to another level is when it gets violent. When he goes against Kenny Omega in this death match, that's awesome. And like they get crazy and he talks crazy. But against
when he gets to that level.
But when it's not at that level, it just feels kind of like, whatever, man, bring it on. Like I'm just the coolest guy ever. Like, and that's really all it sounds like to me is like I'm the coolest guy ever. You see my jacket? Dude, I'll fuck you up, dude. It's gonna be crazy. And like what else is there gonna be to like what is he gonna do? He really would have to grab the mic, dude, and cut a promo on MJF.
Yeah, he's pretty lackadaisical and kind of aloof at times.
You know what I want to see?
He has that just whatever, I don't care attitude.
I want to see what I would have done if I was Moxley is I would have been like, I would have done the Arnold Schwarzenegger thing from True Lies. In the movie True Lies, he's when he's captured at the end and he's under the truth serum and he's sitting at the chair and he goes, first he's like, I'm going to kill you. And the guy's like, oh yeah, how are you going to accomplish that? You're in handcuffs, you're in this chair. And Arnold Schwarzenegger's like, first I'm going to pick the lock. Then I'm going to stab you in the eye with the iron over there. And then I'm going to kill the god. And then I'm going to do... And like, it's fucking hilarious. And then he does exactly what he tells the guy he's going to do. That's
step by step.
That's what Moxley should do. Let me give you the spoiler now, MJF. This is going to happen to you. First, I'm going to break your finger. And then I'm going to break your this. And I'm going to do that. And then you, Mr. Lawyer Man, I'm going to snap your friggin' arm. I'm going to break your arm in a sling. And then I'm going to break... You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to break your toe. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to break your toe. I'm going to leave with the AEW World Heavyweight Champion. I'm going to humble you and show you just how small you are, MJF. And I'm going to take your lawyer over there, if you even are a lawyer, and I'm going to break your baby toes. I'm going to break your toes. And then like at the pay-per-view, he snaps the guy's toes with the stairs. He does everything he said he was going to do. And then like the next day or the next week on the show, MJF shows up with his finger fucking all taped up with his neck.
Yeah, like a mini cast on his finger would be funny.
Yeah. And you know what? It'd be funny if he said, when the match is over, then to add insult to injury, I'm going to drop you on that already injured neck with a paradigm shift when it's legal after the match. And then it'd be fucking hilarious if he did all that. Like if legit, like he wins the match, then he paradigm shifts him after the match on the stairs. Then he grabs the lawyer guy who comes out and says, we're going to sue you. We're going to sue you. This was after the match. We're going to sue you for this. And then he takes him, drops him, then grabs his foot, takes off his shoe, smashes it in the fucking steel step, and the next week the lawyer's in a fucking boot, and MJF's got his finger wrapped up because he broke his finger, like he said. Like he goes, I'm gonna bust your neck so to where you may not survive, and just for fun, I'm gonna break your fingers. Like that's and then he does it. Like it'd be fucking hilarious. And they're all sitting there, bandaged up, finger, neck brace. The lawyer's in a fucking boot. You know what I mean? And then, like, he does something else he said he was going to do. Like, that'd be kind of hilarious and make him funny. I don't know. But, like, the promo, it's like he's up against MJF, who's cutting all these fucking checking boxes off left and right. It was crazy. But anyway, whatever. It's just, like, these are the things. Like, you're going in knowing that this guy's going to shit on you. Like, that's all. Dude, I'd be worried. If you told me I'm about to have a promo with MJF and I've got to bring my game and MJF's going to speak too.
Yeah.
Dude,
I'd be genuinely concerned.
You better you better ready to go.
You gotta bring it. You gotta really plan.
It's like I like MJF, what you just said too. You think that I just study the hardcore guys, huh? You just think that I study the hardcore guys and the guys who drink beer and the guys who are crazy. It's like you don't understand that I studied guys like Bret the Hitman Hart, who was like a multi-world champion. You don't even know that. See, you say you're smart and you don't even know your facts. You know what I mean? You think I just study indie guys. I study everybody. And right now I'm studying you. And based on your height, your tiny little fingers, and your little pea-sized head, I know that you're not all that you think you're cracked up to be, and I'm going to humble the shit out of you. You know, it's like he could say things back, and he just sort of took it, and then he kind of gave back a generic promo, almost like he didn't hear MJF, and he just cut his own little thing. This fucking guy just brought up Renee Young, too. Like, what the fuck is that about? Dude, I'm going to carry you back to your parents' basement where you came from in the first place, in your little fucking, in their little house. I'm going to carry you back in your parents' basement when I break your arms and legs at the pay-per-view so they can take care of you for 6 months because somebody's going to have to look after you. And I know that nobody really gives a shit about you except maybe your parents or your family. There's no way that these goons around you are going to be sticking around when you can't pay them because nobody would hang around with you unless they were being paid to, because you're an annoying piece of shit. Like, it's like there's so many things he could have said, like, just to go right back at him. You know what I mean? And he's like, you know what? I spent a night in jail I spent a day in jail for something that I don't really talk about anymore. But the last time I saw a scarf like that, it was a dude in jail and he was taking it up. You know, like something like fucking stuff like that. But nothing like that. It was just blah. Like, oh, here's my generic promo. Hey, you signed page 17. Like, now, were they insinuating that he wrote that in at the moment, or that was already in the contract?
They're saying that he brought that with him because he brought his own papers out and added that in.
What?
So basically, he added that last page into their contract, and then they both signed it.
Okay, so he brought a piece of paper and then put it in.
He basically, he put in that page, that last page, and they just never read it. So he made the addition. It just makes them look like total morons.
Yeah, it didn't really play well for me.
No, that's why I'm saying he should have threatened him to say, I faced a lawyer or else you're not getting your match. And then MJF be like, yeah, sure, you can have him, sell out his own teammates.
Yeah, if he paid the lawyer off that works with MJF would have been a better idea.
That too.
Or how about this? That lawyer gets beat up by Jon Moxley, and then this week MJF can say, and by the way, you got bigger problems because not only am I going to take the AEW championship from you, but my lawyer's filing a lawsuit against you right now for what you did to him last week. So I had to bring in a different lawyer this week, and it was a pain in the ass because we had to re-go through all the paperwork and all these other things and all this legal mumbo jumbo that I don't care, that I didn't want to have to care about, but I had to do it, John, because you're a piece of shit. And you beat up a lawyer. You harmed a guy who's not even a wrestler. And he's going to sue you for all you're worth. So I'm going to take your title, and then my lawyer is going to sue you for all the money you have. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, see, that works so much better.
Mark's
right
my new lawyer. Yeah,
options.
Mark's my new lawyer. And then John's like, yeah, you got a new lawyer, huh? That's really cool. But anyway, so I signed the paper, blah, blah. And then, oh, by the way, you MJF, you really... After you really should have checked page 17 or whatever. And then MJF's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then he looks at the new lawyer and he goes, dude, what the hell? What, we didn't talk about this. You didn't show me this. And then the guy just smiles and walks away. And then Jon Moxley can be like, I'll see you at blah, blah, blah's graduation or whatever the fuck. And he's like, oh yeah, that's, I happen to know that guy a little bit. And MJF's like, what do you mean? Like, and that type of deal, whatever.
Yes, that's funny. And that fits in the style that Moxley usually has, where the gotcha type thing. So that would work out. That would be funnier than you just not reading a piece of paper. Him always having a way of either he knows somebody or he's prepared. He seems like he always has a plan, yet he seems like somebody that doesn't plan at all. So
yeah.
that's what's interesting about his character.
Yeah, I mean,
he's always prepared, but yet he seems like he's the most unprepared person just showing up.
We are really nitpicking a stupid storyline in wrestling right now. I do acknowledge that. This is a little ridiculous. I'm sorry. But we're going to move on. I see the donations are coming in. If you guys want to donate down below, you know the deal. This is the AEW review, then Outta Nowhere. We're condensing it all into one episode of 2 hours of Outta Nowhere. what else is there to there's a whole bunch. I really should have wrote notes tonight. Hopefully Jake did. I should have wrote notes though, because there was a lot of things that I took from this show, and then I have already forgot them. Like, to be honest,
I got notes. If I could read them, it's a different story, but I got notes. So
yeah, there was some things.
We'll hear what the people have to say, and then we'll start at the beginning of AEW.
Yeah. All right. Let's take another dono while we're here.
Shit bum.
What a shocker, you loved AU tonight, but you also don't know the real difference between Nazis and communists, so maybe you are that dumb.
Joe the AEW Dick Rider. Well, you clearly haven't listened to a damn thing I've said the last 25 minutes, then, you fucking idiot. Because I literally just said that it was a discombobulated show tonight with a lot of weird botches. And it was fun, though. But I wouldn't give it a better rating than NXT. I think they were about the same for different reasons. So if you want to say that I'm a dick rider, I think you need to open up your ears a little bit better and listen to everything I just said the last 25 minutes, particularly when I just criticized that segment for about 12 minutes. But you're too stupid to listen and use your goddamn SJW ears that you're fucking sitting at home right now while your dad sucks you off in the bathroom like he has since you were 5, and that's why you've never left the house, that's why you didn't go to college, and that's why you don't understand the English language besides the words, "Daddy, I'm ready for another sucky fucky," you piece of shit, asshole, retard, incompetent pile of dog piss. You should go to Eddie Edwards' house, check out his English vocabulary notebooks, and read a little bit up on how to speak the English language, you cocksucker. I'm betting you ain't even from America. I'm betting you don't know the English language. I'm betting you're like Lithuanian or something like that, all right? Or you got about a 98 score on your IQ test, okay? Mr. Extra Chromosome. I'm surprised that you were able even to donate to me, and you could get your little fat fingers to work on your device that you could send that moronic donation that you just sent in, all right? You're about 2 more chromosomes away from being Bullfrog's rape victims, all right, you piece of shit. Shut your mouth, listen, and learn something, you dumbass cocksucker. All right,
Damn.
Go ahead, Jake, take us through the show.
So we went ahead and had Tony Khan kick off the show before they went on air. First time he's done this, actually, it was reported, since Dynamite's, been around. He thanked all the fans for showing up, expressed their gratitude for coming back to the live shows, and he introduced the show for the fans. And everyone was excited because it took a very long time and a long wait tonight to get things going. So they had to make sure everybody was wearing the mask properly, which still some weren't. You could see people having their nose, hanging over the mask.
Well, and before the show started, Tony Khan also asked people not to swear. Did you hear about that? And people...
Yes.
Now, Ryan Satan, Mr. Big Tooth SJW, WWE Dick Rider, was like, well, you guys shit on WWE for telling people to cheer and stuff like that. Isn't anybody going to shit on Tony Khan for telling people not to swear? Listen, don't just generalize everybody, okay? Yes, JW, TMZ working, Hollywood pedophile supporting piece of shit Ryan Satan. Here's the fact of the matter. I think WWE is in the right to encourage their fans to cheer. Like, show visual emotion if you can. Maybe even have a couple drinks before the show so you're extra animated, but don't, do something bad. Them instructing people when they're part of their studio audience is not a big deal to me. And Tony Khan coming out and saying, hey, guys, could just be careful. Like, everything's, you're going to be picked up by the microphones. Like, if you could not cheer like faggot or fuck or say horrific things like that, I mean, I hope we don't have that. You'll be ejected. Unfortunately, it's a studio environment, that type of deal. Just letting you know, don't think you're funny. Because this is, what's the equivalent to what the fans in AEW could do to the WWE, Jake, is... Like, so the guy thought it was funny to throw up the Nazi thing, right? May not even be a Nazi guy. May not even be a racist Nazi person. Just somebody who thought, let me throw up the worst thing I can. It's funny, right? And now WWE's looking for the guy. Well, somebody could do that in the AEW audience. They could think, well, I'm going to say the worst thing ever on TV, and I'm going to say the N-word as loud as I can. And maybe they're not even a racist person, but they're like, I'm going to yell the worst thing I can. It's the N-word and maybe the F-word. And I'm going to say them live on TV, and I'm going to try to whatever. That could happen, just the same as visually on WWE TV. So, by saying that to the crowd, you may enable somebody to go, oh, let me do that. Of course,
But really, he just said, stay hot, stay amped up. Keep your masks on. Everybody's 6 feet apart in the pods at minimum. And if you can avoid it, don't chant things like holy shit and stuff like that.
Right. Because then we'll have to dump out and it will make the show ugly. And listen, I love you guys. And normally we love those chants and we love all those crazy things that you guys can do. And we don't mind dumping out. But obviously it's so clear that we can hear you that it's a little bit different tonight. And we're lucky to even be here.
Each fan yelling something directly gets picked up. So
exactly. So I don't mind WWE asking things of the audience, because it's a special circumstance, and I don't
mind. These are paid
mind
fans as well, keep in mind, too. So.
Yeah, and I don't mind Tony Khan doing it. So even though I get Ryan Satan, being all defensive of WWE because WWE gets shit on all the time, and now he sees a double standard. But I think it's two different types of fans. And in my opinion, I agree with both. WWE's fine, AEW's fine. Do what you got to do. These are special circumstances. I have no problem with it whatsoever.
And they did say, Tony Khan did tweet out and say that they sold 10% of the capacity this week. So
I heard Jericho say that 10%, baby, capacity.
So that's 500 people that they were there.
Yeah, that's the
audience certainly sounded noticeably louder.
Oh, dude, I tweeted out that I was like, wow, there's like 100 people here, and people corrected me. They were like, no, there's 500 people there. And I went, damn, 500? I thought it was 100.
As soon as you heard them cheering in the beginning and then singing Jericho's entrance, I'm like, oh, I got, it sounds silly, but I was like, I actually got like chills for a second because I'm like, I haven't heard an audience since March. It's been damn near 6 months of this pandemic, and it was just a really refreshing moment. I was like, oh, wow, I got a little bit of hope for a second that we can see things go back to normal maybe someday soon. Especially
on the heels of the NBA, having a suspension for a couple days, and then the NHL, there's no basketball, and then like I told you yesterday, hockey would follow suit because they have to virtue signal because they feel bad because they're all white people, so they have to. Oh my God, we got to shut down. But in a way, I'm gonna get heat for this. I'm going to get heat for this, even if I don't agree with the NBA players who are rich and millionaires who could have displayed displeasure on the live show before a game instead, and probably gotten the message out even more. I think taking your ball and going home's a little babyish, but that's me. I don't know, but I get it. But if I was the NHL, I don't know. I might do the same thing because I'd want to be like, listen, even if I don't necessarily always agree with every situation that people are mad about, I do want to show solidarity that we're all together in some way. Even if you don't agree with it. You know what I mean? Like, even if you don't agree with it, and I know there's some people out there saying like, oh, you agree with the rapist guy being shot? Well, whatever. The point is, like, they're showing like some kind of weird virtue signaling solidarity, whatever. But in a day like that where there was no sports today, imagine if AEW said that they weren't going to go on either.
Yeah. It'd be a total disaster right now. There'd be nothing.
Imagine if AEW didn't go on the air and they were like, well, I'm surprised they didn't. Aren't they the big SJW company? I thought I was half expecting on my Twitter feed today to see AEW decides they're not going on the air. I thought that was going to happen.
I don't think they do it now, but it certainly wouldn't be out of their wheelhouse to pull something like that.
Oh my God, dude. I thought it was going to happen. These millionaires who won't go out there. We're in a pandemic right now. There's people just like looking for stuff to do, looking for stuff to watch. I know there's bad things that are happening, and it's important to have everybody's back and to have empathy for everybody out there. By the way, the stories that are going on right now, the misinformation on every side is insane. No matter what side you're on, the misinformation is crazy. I urge everybody.
So out there.
I ain't telling you what to do, but you should definitely look into every situation further because, oh my God, dude, the misinformation and manipulation of what's going on. You can literally take a video of something and change the whole narrative of what it is. It's crazy what's going on. So AEW goes on tonight. There's no hockey, there's no basketball, but AEW's there. The people getting paid $90,000 and $150,000 went out tonight during the virus and performed, no matter what they were, no matter what they are, in solidarity together performed. But the NBA didn't, and the NHL didn't. They did not entertain you today. They did not show up. When your families are scared in their houses, there's a pandemic, there's riots, there's killings. You're scared of the rioters, you're scared of the cops, you're scared of the police, you're scared of Antifa, you're scared of the Proud Boys or the right-wing version, the Boogaloo people or whatever the fuck. you're scared of Trump, you're scared of Biden, you're scared of this, you're scared of that, you're scared of all these things, you're scared of the food supply, you're scared of your job, you're out of a job, you don't know if you'll have a job, your kids are crying like my daughter did to me last night. My daughter last night cried to me as I was reading her a story, and I couldn't figure out what was wrong with her, and she said she misses her friends. She misses her friends and school. She misses school, and she thinks it's never going to be over, and she misses school, and all she wants to do is go see her friends in school again, and started naming her friends to me, which drove me to have to write down the names of them so we can call their parents and try to set up a play date or something like that, because I'm feeling the other kids are as isolated as she might be, and that is horrific, and that's going on all over the place with people about their jobs, this, that, and the other thing, and you know, at the end of the night, you turn on TV and you hope, I hope the NBA playoffs are on. I hope the NHL playoffs are on. I hope this or that is on so I can just unwind and watch something different for once instead of the CNN and the murder and the riots and the guns and the protests and everything that's going on and the stupid election and everything else. And nope, there's not. I'm going to be forced to keep watching that stuff. And but AEW was there tonight, and Maybe things will get worse in October again. There'll be another wave of all kinds of bullshit in October. But 500 people were there tonight, and I don't care if the show was a little discombobulated tonight. It was a little bit weird. I am super thankful that I got to hear an audience, that I got to see people wrestle, and that I got to take my eyes away from this craziness that is making everybody from every walk of life and every opinion act insane. So anyway, let's start with the review now. My rant's over, I guess. I don't know.
Right off the bat, we had the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, taking on the Natural Nightmares of Dustin Rhodes and QT Marshall with Allie. This is the start of the gauntlet match for the tag team series. They're going to take the top 4 teams and have them face off one after the other. And it was a pretty okay match at first, and the Young Bucks win the first round. So the biggest highlight out of this was having fans, back in the arena. So that was the biggest thing that I took out of the introduction. Then we had the Best Friends go ahead and come out. They took on the Young Bucks, and this went on, I think, a bit too long here.
Yeah, it was.
I wasn't crazy about the Young Bucks style most often. Depends on who they're working with and what they can get out of them.
And you could have put another commercial in this match, not the end.
Yes, could have put 2 commercials in this match. This went on for so long. I think it was something like 18 minutes it went on at this point.
Right.
And then eventually, as with Raw does it, WWE does it. When you don't have enough to fill a show, you have a gauntlet match to soak up a good 40 minutes or so, and that's what they did. That was their intention. FTR then comes out, and we get the big moment from all of this was before FTR. Hangman Page cost the Young Bucks the match. So basically, right at the end, the Bucks are going. They're going to get the Meltzer driver set up. Page grabs Nick's leg on the apron so he can't go ahead and break up Trent's roll-up.
Which I don't even think is a heel. Everyone's saying it's the heel turn, but I don't even think it's a heel turn, right? It's just going to be played as, well, dude, I don't want to face you guys.
I think that's exactly what it's going to be. I didn't want to face you guys again.
Yep.
And
it's a tweener move, kind of, really, to be honest.
Yes. I think it's also a red herring because Omega is going to be the one to turn heel fully, and they're trying to distract you by making you think that Page is the one turning heel.
Yeah,
I think that might be some of their goal as well.
I think you're right. I think it's this. I mean, this is one of the most super slow burns ever, ever. Oh, and by the way, real quick, some of the things I say on here, I'm a pretty independent centrist. I'm kind of just observing what's going on. I'm not preaching to any of you guys. A lot of you guys have strong opinions either side. And I don't know quite yet where I fall with opinions on things. I still can't figure it out. So I don't know how so many people have figured it out. But I'm willing to listen, and I'm open-minded to whichever side you're on and whatever else. So I'm not preaching to you guys about anything. I'm just sort of stating what I'm seeing going on, and that's really it. There's no strong opinion here. There's no dragging you to the left or the right or anything like that. I'm actually listening to you guys more about it than me to see what you guys' feel about everything is. Than me telling you what to do. I'll tell you what I believe, and I'll be honest about it. But I'm not trying to be the crazy media trying to tell you guys what to do or where to go with anything. I'm probably going to learn more from you than you'll learn from me. But yeah, no, this is the slowest burn ever, and it's going to pay off because it's really interesting, and you can see on his face, like you just said, Jake, that he had the oh fuck, I had to. I'm sorry, guys. I had to fucking
he
do
sold really well with all of this, and
yeah,
and it's been such a slow burn. That was really, really interesting because it's been going on since November. So
right, yeah. I wonder how it's going to go, though. How is it going to go? Because at some point, it's got to just go. Because they've already done the, like, I'm mad at you for doing that, but we're still friends, but now let's have a fight. But now we're friends again. What is it going to be? And I'm looking for, honestly, I think it's got to be something wild, because at this point, you can't really do the whole can you do the whole Marty Jannetty, Shawn Michaels barbershop moment or move or thing like that, where it's like he attacks them all of a sudden? Or is it got to be a very sick type of situation? Like, does it got to be a New Age Outlaws, Terry Funk and Mick Foley dumpster off the stage?
Off the stage, yeah.
I feel like it's got to be something horrific. I mean, or you can go with a more believable, we're not friends anymore, this is competition, I'll fuck you up, and we're not friends anymore. Or are they going to go with, this guy is going to snap so hard that it's going to be unfathomable? I don't know which way is the answer to go. And if he wants to be on Being the Elite still, I mean, are you going to have this blood feud with him at some point, and then he's still on Being the Elite? I don't know how that's going to play.
I don't think they're going to have him on there because they said you're out of the Elite. You're fired. You're done.
Okay. And he'll just play on that for like the next year, maybe? I mean, Jesus.
I mean, I think that they're going to build on this for a while.
I'm interested.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. And it's been, like you said, such a slow burn. I like long-term booking, especially when it is used properly. And this has been going on for some time now, and it's continually been interesting. Because originally we thought, oh crap, there's the signs and shades of a heel turn. He's going to turn on Kenny. Then we thought, oh, he's just going to turn on the Young Bucks. Then Kenny started to act like a heel. So there's been a lot of layers to it.
Right. Yeah, there has been a lot of layers to it. We are live. Let me just go adjust something here on my title. I messed it up. Yeah, but what's next on the show? Sort of a good, like we said.
Before we get there, really quick, there's the chat has said, and I see it trending on Twitter, or starting to trend now. Bullet Bob Armstrong passed away tonight.
What?
Yeah.
Oh no!
Just seeing the chat bringing that up now, and I see people tweeting it out. Fightful Wrestling tweeted it out 23 seconds ago. Pro Wrestling Sheet. Road Dogg said it's with a heavy heart we announced the passing of our father and Hall of Famer Bullet Bob Armstrong.
Wow. Oh my God.
Information regarding funeral arrangements will come at a later date.
Oh my God.
He was 80 years old. Wow.
Wow.
He was in the 2011 WWE Hall of Fame class. So.
Wow. Whoa. That is that's crazy, man. I watched Bullet with my dad, with Killer Kowalski when I was very young. Wow. I talked to Road Dogg about him once in a while years ago, and every 6 months or so we seem to trade a memory of Bullet Bob Armstrong on Twitter, at least, with Road Dogg. So that sucks, man. That is damn. Where's I guess I better tweet out something. Jesus Christ. Well,
how upsetting is that, though?
That was today?
Yeah, just announced 20 minutes ago.
Wow.
Searching Google, it didn't even come up yet.
God damn. Well, what a wrestler, man. Bullet Bob Armstrong, and I don't know if he was. I didn't even know if he was battling something or what's going on, because I just didn't know. I saw him in a recent video not that long ago, saying some things, and I thought to myself, "Damn, Bullet still looks like he's pretty good, man, for 80."
Someone on Twitter said it was COVID related, but I don't see anything about causes anywhere. So I don't see anything I mean, there's not even like a full article posted yet. It's just too soon. Everybody's just starting now to report this.
Wow.
But yeah, he lived to be 80 years old. Wow. Born in 1939.
God damn.
He wrestled for over 5 decades.
All right. Well, we'll have to get to more of that, I guess, later tomorrow. I hate to do that. I mean,
yeah, I know, but I figured this way we at least had to mention it. So
good Lord,
terrible
man.
loss and thoughts with his family. Finishing up the introduction. So as I said before, after Hangman Page cost the Young Bucks, now we have the Best Friends still in the ring. FTR comes out and made I don't want to say short work of them, but made work of them to say the least. So I forget who. I think it was Chuck that tapped out to the leg lock. At the end.
Yeah, because was Chuck the one who appeared to be injured?
Yeah.
Somebody was selling an injury, and I think it was Chuck.
I'm pretty sure it was Chuck.
I call him the out of shape one. Because he's just so looks like I'm in there. I mean, maybe do something like stop.
Trent seems to be in better shape than Chuck Taylor.
Well, Trent's like ripped, and the other guy is like, well, I'll eat a sub today. Who cares?
I wonder too if maybe they FTR put Hangman Page up to screwing the Young Bucks. I wonder if they're going to say that because last week, remember, they had Hangman Page hanging out with FTR, grabbing a drink again. And
right.
I don't remember exactly how it went down, but I know he was with them and they kind of came to him. So they could even have that be the story here where FTR kind of got in his ear or forced him or blackmailed him, something.
Right.
To make sure that they had, the only team they couldn't beat was the Young Bucks. So they made sure that they were taken out. Something like that.
Yeah, I think
I wouldn't hate that either.
That'd be smart, but that would definitely make him more heelish, right? Because then he went through with their request. I guess.
He would be susceptible. He would be blinded by their request if they do it right.
Right.
That's how I'm envisioning it. Like he just more gullible, but not sinister.
Huh. Yeah. Yeah, I could see it.
And then after that, we had Darby Allin showing him climb to the top of this massive bridge. I think Jericho said it was 100 feet tall, but
yeah, he said something crazy.
And then he went and he jumped off, and he's like, "This is for me to show the world that I'm not afraid of anything, and I'm not afraid of Ricky Starks." So,
damn,
I like that promo. That was good. And then the show started to drag a little bit more here because Lance Archer had his match, and obviously that was just to be a squash match. Well, he gets his claw, the 3 count, after picking him up off the mat.
What did you think? So, and what did you think of their? A lot of people said, kind of a weird, discombobulated promo after.
It was very weird. It was very unorthodox. It was kind of all over the place. And then, he's like, "Oh, there's, I'm going to be the favorite. I'm going to win the battle royal without even knowing who the other entrants are." And then Taz, Brian Cage, Ricky Starks, the FTW crew end up coming out, and Jake calls them the Flintstones.
Oh my God!
And I'm he's like, "There's Fred, Barney, and Wilma."
When he first,
oh God.
When he started the first name, I go, I wonder if he's gonna forget like the names because I could. Oh man, there were so many things that I was thinking like, oh, he's gonna forget now, and even I couldn't remember it. So because I have these brain issues now too, where like I can't even remember the Flintstones names. It happens to me all the time.
Yeah, no kidding. So, but then they said, they started to go at each other. He said it doesn't matter if it's Brian Cage or Ricky Starks. One of my guys is winning, and that's when Darby Allin runs out and goes right after Ricky Starks and knocks Ricky out of his slippers. And they start, beating the hell out of each other to the back. And that's when we tease Lance Archer and Brian Cage going at each other. And I think that would be an interesting matchup for when it does happen eventually down the line. The battle of the two big, behemoth monsters. So I'm intrigued to see that match, even if I'm not too sold with everything the way it went down with the promos between Taz and Jake Roberts. It could have been a lot better. Left a lot to be desired, but I am intrigued at the matchups we're getting. So
right. Yeah, I think it's interesting. All throughout the night. I mean, honestly, I got to be honest. Like, I don't complain about this too much, but good Lord.
Yeah, both promos. Really
what I want to say is JR, the amount of times that they plug stuff and then messed up the plugs and said stuff, I couldn't tell what the hell is happening this week and next week with pay-per-view versus Dynamite and when they're live, and good Lord. I mean, you could like Jericho tried to save it, but it just made it worse, and I'm lost. We got to get out there and start repeating the schedule the correct way, because they were having all kinds of trouble getting out the schedule and everything that's going on.
Yeah, they even had some of the graphics come up wrong too, because like when Darby Allin was out there, it said something about Saturday Night Dynamite, and so they're just confusing people with all their little goofs.
Yeah, I mean, you know, someone said I should have a State of Wrestling tonight. Well, tonight is Outta Nowhere, so that kind of is State of Wrestling, to be honest. You know, I usually do State of the WWE, but I mean, you know, this show is basically Outta Nowhere is kind of like State of Wrestling, the news of wrestling. You know, so we're doing the AEW review, and then we're doing the rest of wrestling. So it's coming. But yeah,
and we had Sheeta and Thunder Rosa. They had their package. It was cool to have Billy Corgan go ahead and praise Thunder Rosa the entire time and really put over the NWA women's title, and to show how much of a big deal this match is going to be. And, you know, you saw eventually Thunder Rosa and Sheeta were in the same room. They're signing the match contract, and Rosa tries to grab the title off the table, and Sheeta grabs it and tells her in her language, she's like, "I will win." And they kind of had to stare off against each other. So.
A little cheesy, but I like it. And
yeah,
Corgan sold it really well.
I'm sold. It is cheesy. It is blasé and predictable, but it works. It's classic wrestling, and I can't wait to get to the pay-per-view. That's all there is to it. I wish it was this weekend and not next week. I wish they didn't have one more week to go.
I mean, you know, it would have been nice if we could have gotten Sheeta to say something more like, you know, I have traveled across the ocean or the world to face the top competition. This is exactly what I've been waiting for, and I will win. You know, something like that, as opposed to I will win. But I know that English isn't her first language, obviously. And if I was in Japan, I would be coming up with little line catchphrases in Japan to say, like, you know, I just wouldn't be able to, you know, say big whole sentences. But I don't know. I just feel like give her a little bit more. Don't let her do the whole, like, I am proud to win. Like, get her to go a little bit further. Or even say it in Japanese. Even say, I've traveled, blah, 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 from Japan. Put it on the screen below, and then I will win after that. And that would have been nice. This is so nitpicky, it's almost unbelievable. I still like it. I love it. This may be, probably could be, and if it's not, will be disappointing. This should be the best women's match we've seen yet in AEW. It should be. It really should. Sheeta and Thunder Rosa should be the best match in AEW women's history. And if it's not that, I know that I'm setting the expectations high, and it may not be fair. I don't know. But this should be the best women's match. And if it is, boom. And by the way, Billy Corgan just nails it in that. I know we just talked about it, but that commentary from him, that backstory from him over that NWA footage was fucking great.
Super chat. Super chat.
Joe is out of shape, Matt Taven. Guys look alike.
The Goon, thanks for the $2. I don't know, man. I don't think I look like Matt Taven. I don't think he's from down the street where I live. You realize that? Matt Taven, literally. I mean, I moved now. Now I live in Foxborough, Mass. But a year ago when I moved, before I moved, Matt Taven lived down the street from me. So it was so weird. And we went to all these wrestling shows together, and then we'd show up to the shows. And there was one day where Matt was like, oh, yeah, I was at the beach, the beach the other day. I'm like, oh, it's crazy. I live right next to that beach. He goes, oh, I live at the beach. And I'm like, you live there? I'm like, dude, I live right down the road. He goes, what the hell are we doing, taking separate cars? I'm like, I don't know, dude. Like, what are we doing? So I love Matt Taven, obviously, but I don't think we look alike at all. But, you know, we are both from the same exact city. So that's
cut from the same cloth.
Cut from the same cloth, I guess, yeah. But yeah, I don't think we look alike. I wish I looked like him. I kind of look like Eminem when he got chubby. and Dean Ambrose's brother or something. I don't know.
I can see the Eminem and Ambrose combo.
I look like a turd. How about that?
Too harsh to yourself.
Let me drop one more. Let me drop one more.
Are you gonna
It's gotta be Kane Jake. It's Kane Jake.
My name is Kane and I'm donating.
Very sad news. Bullet Bob Armstrong passed away. I give a 7 out of 10 tonight. Solid show.
My God. Yeah, absolutely. So sad. JD Venom. 7 out of 10 for AEW. Damn, JD Venom. Nice record there for them. I'm going to give AEW a 6 because I think that they entertained me, but it was a little bit wonky. Whereas NXT was a little underwhelming because of the atmosphere and some of the planned showcases that they did, but they had really good matches in most cases and progressed some stories well. So I think that they're pretty close. Anything else from AEW?
I would give it a 6.5 myself. Let's see, what else do we have here that we didn't talk about? We talked about MJF. We didn't talk about the 8-man tag. So we had Eddie Kingston's new group, even though they're not a group, he said. They're not a faction. They're not a stable. They're just friends who've worked together. So I like that idea, though. He's like, we're not a group. We're just, we're guys. I appreciated that. I get what he was going for. So they took on Brian Pillman Jr., Griff Garrison, Sonny Kiss, and Joey Janela. This is Pillman Jr.'s, I think, first Dynamite performance, right? Because I know he's been on Dark a bunch, but I don't remember him being on Dynamite yet.
Brian Pillman Jr., yeah, he may have been on something.
Dark. I've seen him on Dark a few times. But I don't remember him being on Dynamite yet. And then who the fuck is Griff Garrison? Anyways, I like Sonny Kiss as well. Sonny did well in the match. Joey Janela, usual exciting stuff. But still, again, something with these 8-man tags, they lose themselves at times and they start to botch and then they lose the timing for spots. And it would be better as just a straight up tag or even, a one-on-one match. They're not doing well when they have this many men in the ring at the same time, especially when you have to break it all up with another picture-in-picture break.
Right.
Though the match was nothing to me, but I liked everything after the match. Kingston yelled at the ref to
they just sold Jake. They just sold Pillman the whole time because they have so much respect for his dad.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it felt like.
I mean, that's what I got out of it was JR and just Tony couldn't stop gushing over Brian Pillman Jr.
Yep, that's
which makes me think they may not have watched him that much. And
yeah, he didn't challenge Cody, so he didn't face Cody. I thought he did at one point, but I guess not either.
He bulked up too. Brian Pillman Jr. I called his match 7 months ago or something against Anthony Green here in Massachusetts at Kingston, and I called Brian Pillman Jr.'s match, and he was not this big. He's actually bulked up in the chest and upper shoulder area. He kind of looks like a stud now. I mean, I got to be honest. He looked way smaller when I last saw him. He looked good tonight, and I think that's the problem is I couldn't stop watching Pillman on my screen during the match, and I think JR and Tony were seeing the same thing, and they couldn't stop watching him either. The guy's going to have a bright future in this company, it looks like, because if JR and Tony are catching him like they were, you got to believe they're going in the back and they're saying, man, we got to get Pillman on TV. This is
going to be Omega 2.0.
Well,
he acts like
we talked about it. Yeah, when I was calling his match at New England All-Star Wrestling, he was doing all the weird like Omega things and the like he runs to the ropes with the like he's a karate fighter. Yeah, very theatrical, a little bit.
I wonder if they'll take Kingston's group and just have it go down to the Lucha Bros because, like I said, the Butcher and the Blade don't really do anything for me. I want to give them a chance, but even after watching them tonight, I know they're veterans. They've been in the ring wrestling for decades at this point, and okay, that's great, but they're not interesting.
Right.
I'm trying to Kingston make them interesting, and we'll see what happens with it. I'm not completely poo-pooing on it right away, but it just seems shitty still, slightly. They just don't fit. They're kind of sore thumbs standing out. They just feel like jobbers, as were the Lucha Bros. If they were managed by Kingston, I think that could work really, really well. I think that he could be one hell of a mouthpiece for those two.
Yeah, I think he'd be good.
No doubt.
So, I mean, I wonder if they're just going with, hey, listen, like, you're going to be like a talking piece mostly, but every once in a while, you can get in the ring and go. But I wonder if there's something we don't know about with him, maybe they just thought, like, dude, you've got such a great promo, like, you can really help a lot of guys out, and you're winding down your career a little bit. You don't want to take as many bumps anymore, and this would be a perfect role for you. So I wonder if he's going to be getting back in the ring though, once in a while, or if it's going to be a straight up. He's like the new Cronin or whatever,
Could be. And I'm fine with either way because he's great in the ring, as we saw with him and Cody. And I just think he needs someone on Cody's level or near that to have that good of a match with. He needs someone to pull it out of him, I think.
Right.
But at least they know that they can utilize him in ring and on mic.
Right.
At least they have that option.
The guy is a super utility player. He can go on commentary. He can go in the ring. He can be a manager. Similar to there's another guy like that in the company, and it's not Jericho, although it is Jericho too, but also good Lord, his name is escaping me. Colt Cabana.
Oh, okay.
Colt Cabana is another guy.
Colt. He's pretty good on commentary. So
he's a comedy guy, but he can be good too. So like there's a lot of people in the company that they have. If and if you don't have Jericho on, there's a bunch of other guys you can put on as the.
Yeah, you have quite a few that can at least go ahead and be on commentary and
be the contrarian or the heel or the color guy. So and there's no Excalibur, which is. I thought the commentary team had some really good moments tonight, but they also had some really big blunders because it was so discombobulated. So, but it was more interesting, right, than any other announced team in wrestling right now, because even though they had some disorientation and unorganized moments, the fact that anything can happen and the sarcasm of Jericho playing off of JR a couple times, he really was very funny. So I'll take that over the robots in WWE any day at this point.
Speaking of robots and not funny, what did you think overall of the casket meme playing out in real life? You had the Dark Order come out with the casket.
That's what it is, Jake. You got it. Jericho, they were carrying the casket out. And Jericho goes, "Is Cody in there?" It was wicked funny. It was like in the background. It barely was noticeable because they were carrying the casket out. I didn't catch that. I have to go back. That's great. Oh, my God, dude. They were carrying it out, and everybody was quiet. And they were like, "Look at this. What are they doing?" And then Jericho goes, "Is Cody in there?" Like, oh, my God. I think Cody's in there. Oh, my God, dude. I don't know why. That wasn't the thing he said to JR that was funny, but that was also funny.
Oh, I'm going to have to go back and check that out. That's hilarious.
It was funny, dude. Is Cody in there?
Besides Jericho's little quip there, I wasn't crazy about this whole. It was chaotic and it was very weird, and I kept waiting for something big to happen, and I don't feel like we ever got that payoff. I do like the idea of Anna Jay being 99, the Queen Slayer. Like, he was praising her for doing her job against Brandy,
right? And
now they're getting Tainara Conti as well to join them, so that's interesting. That happened a little bit later, but still, as far as this goes, you had Dustin and QT come out, and then Scorpio Sky, and then Matt Cardona comes out, and it was like, all right, everyone's got to defend Cody's honor, but it was very boring, draggy, and predictable, pretty much.
I got to pull it up because people want to hear it now, so I'm going to pull it up. And AEW has been actually pretty good about audio, like, so, as long as you don't do too much, they've been pretty good.
But this just dragged on, and I that was kind of like a running theme in this episode. But I was like, is this skit or moment, promo segment going to end? It just felt like it was lingering.
It wasn't the best thing. It was all right, but again, I think I was soiled by Jericho's hilarity. So like, again, if Jericho wasn't saying that stuff, if Jericho wasn't making some of the comments he was making, I don't think the segment would have played as well for me, but it played better for me because I was laughing at Jericho, kind of like mocking everything or whatever you want to call it when the casket came out, and it was just too funny to me. But had Jericho not made those comments again, I don't think I would have found it to be as funny as it was. I also, Brody, did we talk about Brody Lee yet? Or we sort of did. But yeah, Brody Lee in the outfit, dressed like super dressed like McMahon. And they had all the tractors and the things and whatever. And Jericho goes, well, they're starting a business? It was like there was all these comments by Jericho that made that segment hilarious.
6 lawnmowers, and that was funny.
Okay, but here it is. I think we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. Oh, here we go. It's when they are carrying it. I went
because they're doing the casket meme. Bouncing the casket up and down.
Here it is.
I almost wish they could have had the music, but
I got it right here. Here we go.
Is Cody in there? Beautiful.
Listen to this.
In AEW currently.
There's Evil Uno,
I think.
Join the Dark Order.
Not related to Yoko.
Wonderful.
Is Cody in there?
Beautiful.
Well, is Cody in there? He's already correcting JR on Evil Uno instead of Ono, which was funny. Because Jericho's not letting him get away with it. He's like, no, it's these guys come out strutting with a goddamn golden casket, which is funny because obviously it's the colors of like Cody Rhodes, his whole tights and everything like that. And just for Jericho to yell, "Is Cody in there?" Like it's the stupidest stuff that entertains me.
See, they had 10 in the casket with the neck tattoo, the temporary neck tattoo, and tossing the jacket inside the casket. Like, I think if it didn't overstay its welcome, maybe I would have enjoyed it more. But because John Silver was finally hit, like D. Welsh said, it was funny, but it dragged on again. So
yeah, and one of the things about it is a little bit of it. The tones change constantly with Dark Order. This is a very interesting thing that I'm about to say, because last week Dark Order appeared to be dastardly scary and they meant business, and it was like, wow, this was like the most, I actually took them serious last week. And then this week was kind of like DX mocking,
comedy,
like mocking The Rock and the Nation or something, like kind of like
maybe that was it, because you figure you went through something so serious last week and taking out Cody, who now is going to be gone for quite some time. They're saying, the reports are that he's going to be gone for a substantial amount of time. That's a big deal. He was your number one go-to guy for a lot of things you needed in the company.
You know what they should have done?
For him not to be on TV, they really should have replaced it with something huge.
You know what they should have done?
What's that?
They should have opened up the casket. And in the casket was a pair of wrestling boots. And they basically say that, while you were at the hospital getting looked at, we went into your dressing room and we took the liberty of taking care of the boots, the last pair of wrestling boots that your father bought for you, Cody. Because that's what happened your entire life, is things were handed to you in this business, in life. Even your damn name, your everything from your name to your look. Even your dad bought these wrestling boots for you, and we went and we got them. You guys didn't care about them. You went to the hospital. But we took care of them for you, Cody, and they're here. And then they could have lit them on fire. And then they could have said that we just sent the boots home to your dad. Now the boots are ashes, just like your father, or something like that. Like the boots were burned and they lit them on fire on the stage after they pulled them out of the casket, and then they threw them back in the casket. And we're gonna bury the boots. We're gonna bury the ashes, just like your old man was buried, or some weird shit like that. They could have done something sort of like that was sinister almost, as opposed to dancing with the casket and the guy getting out. It was a little goofy. And I think, but if you want to go for Dark Order is super dangerous, but then sometimes funny, then all right, then this is working fine. If it's the hybrid you want, then it's fine. But if you wanted to go with something more sick, I would have gone with, we burned the wrestling boots, the last pair of wrestling boots your father gave you.
Now that's heat right there.
Here, let's listen one more time.
Wonderful. Is Cody in there? Beautiful.
But,
I was just hoping,
but it was exciting. It was fun. I liked it. It was good. Like it was just a little bit different tone.
I think it had moments of it being decent, but with it being a bit too long and some of the jokes falling flat, and then the Nightmare family coming trying to make the save, and then Scorpio Sky, and like you said, with the Dark Order looking so tough last weekend, so strong, so resourceful, and for them to take out everybody, and now for this weekend they're getting cleared out of the ring. That shouldn't happen. Why are they getting so easily dispatched out of the ring with a group that's not even really a group together? Scorpio Sky and these people coming in, Matt Cardona, are not a team. So
yeah,
I don't know. I just to be so strong.
Also,
it look weaker, so strong, then weaker.
Brody didn't appear to care either. Like they didn't do like they
just said, and then I walked away.
He was more worried about beating up his own people than firing back on the people attacking them. And it was like, I mean, it
didn't make
much
sense.
I would have, I mean, I guess was the point to make Scorpio Sky look like, he's the challenger next, or he's the next guy.
That's what they were going for. It just wasn't explained well.
Yeah, but I liked it though. I want to tell you that this is 2 weeks in a row of thumbs up Dark Order for me. I just thought, maybe they could have, really destroyed almost everybody, and maybe Scorpio Sky could have gotten in the ring, and Brody Lee could have said, "Everybody back off. I'm gonna get him," or whatever. And then as he stood looking at Scorpio, maybe somebody could hit Scorpio in the balls from behind, and then Brody Lee could have bashed him in the head with the belt and left him on the ground, and then maybe he could have even gotten busted open, laying on the ground bloodied, and Brody Lee stands over him with the belt type of thing, and that sets up their rivalry, but also keeps the Dark Order strong on that momentum that they're on from last week. Instead, they started getting into the shtick of the being the elite stuff.
Yeah, they start to look foolish because they're funny on the being the elite stuff, but it's to the point where it still looks like Brody Lee is somewhat serious.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
He didn't give a damn, as you said, and it didn't encapsulate the role he usually plays. So
yeah, I'm sort of not. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, the one
thumbs up if anything, but I wouldn't go full with this. This to me needed a lot of tender loving care. There was a lot of work that needed to be done to make this a good segment.
Brody Lee cut a fucking awesome promo, though. Brody Lee's promo, I really liked it.
And that's why I said there was parts of it that were good. It just overall to me would be more towards the negative side.
Really? So I wouldn't give it any negative. I just think that they're a little bit like they've always been, which is kind of like 1 minute they're super serious, the next minute it's like the Three Stooges. And so it's
the problem. People aren't considering them to be threats and taking them seriously. So when something happens like last week, it is shocking because it's supposed to be shocking, but it's shocking for a different reason. You're not like, I can't believe Cody's hurt. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe they took out Cody. You're like, that's not how it should be. You should be viewing these guys as, credible threats continually, at least.
The Guardian of Chaos is here.
I want you to look back to December of last year while each and every one of these men was laughed at and ridiculed by people like you. I was at home in prison because of people like you. But I do what I say I'm gonna do, Tony. And a week and a half ago, I told Cody, I said, that beautiful piece of gold is coming home to me. But Cody, I gave you back your belt. Whap! Just like that.
Like, the fact that he can cut that promo and he was in WWE and we never heard nothing like that.
No. I don't even think he got to speak with a mic in his hand. They did a few things backstage with the Wyatt family where he'd cut the stick, follow the buzzards, and he'd do things with the Basham brother, whatever tag team, the Bludgeon Brothers, right?
What I don't get about that though is he reminds me kind of, because you look at him and you're like, oh, he should be that crazy, wild-eyed, hillbilly type crazy guy or whatever, fine. But he cuts promos in a way like Mick Foley, minus the sort of weird Mankind voice, you know, like the "Don't make me reach up and pull down my own coffin." Like he's
dying asthmatic.
He doesn't sound like the dying asthmatic Mick Foley Mankind promo, but he kind of has that vibe. So it's like, dude, like Vince, you got a guy who can kind of cut a promo like Mick Foley could cut a promo. And why don't you turn this guy into Mick Foley meets Diesel and let him cut promos like Mick Foley? It sounds to me like that's a winning situation. Let him cut promos like Mankind Mick Foley, and he looks like Diesel, and he looks kind of like Diesel or somebody. But he's like Mankind. It's like, isn't that a winning situation? But instead you're like, no, let's just keep him wild-eyed and hillbilly, and he'll go out there. And he had great matches in WWE where we always said, man, that guy should be in one-on-one matches for like the IC belt, because him and Daniel Bryan had a couple really good matches one-on-one, and not a lot of big guys can throw themselves around like he could. And there's a lot of big guys now that can. There's a lot of big guys now that can move and do crazy things, and they're not even that good in the ring but this guy was able to put together some really good psychological matches, or matches where you bought into it and he really entertained you, even though there was probably some bigger guys who could do even more, like flips and stuff like that. I don't care if the guy can do a flip and he's 300 pounds if he doesn't connect in the ring. But Brody Lee, Luke Harper, he connected in the ring several times in tag matches and in singles matches, and the guy has the promo skills of Mankind Mick Foley and maybe something else that I don't think about. And the guy was this underutilized, and this is what he's doing? I mean, good God.
For his size, he was extremely athletic and agile. So
what a waste of, oh my God. Like this.
When he had the IC title, he would put on these matches that were very surprising. And I kept saying, like, I could picture him being a legit star. Randy Orton kind of pushed him out of the title picture, but it was supposed to be him versus Bray Wyatt originally at Mania.
Right.
And then Randy Orton got involved, and that got nixed. So,
yeah, like Randy Orton usually does. Yeah, somebody said the other day, oh, Randy Orton's racist because he buried Kofi back in the day. And I was like, well, to be fair, the guy buried a bunch of people. It's not just, it's not Kofi. I don't think he's racist. He fucking did it to everybody.
Of race, he did it because he thought Kofi was.
Well, then the guy called me racist, of course, on Twitter. The guy goes, well, you're a white supremacist because you don't understand what they've been doing to Kofi. I'm like, dude, they did it to Mr. Kennedy and like a million other people. Like, I mean, like, what the Randy Orton's a piece of shit, but he might be. Maybe he is a racist. Maybe Randy Orton is a racist, right? But honestly, he did it to a bunch of white people too. He don't give a shit. Like, it's not like, I'm sorry, I'm triggered from Twitter's fucking Nimrodishness. Look at Brody Lee's eyes. Look at the eyes of Brody Lee.
Cody sucks. To me, the open challenge is over. All you little independent wrestlers, no more TV time on my watch. And Cody, you will never, ever, ever get this back.
That's awesome right there. You kidding me? No more weekly challenge. All you independent wrestlers, stay home. Like that. Oh my God, dude. That was awesome. And by the way, I think Cody's going to come back. I think this is a big ruse. I think it's
really?
I think it's a big, like, oh, he's out for 6 months or something. No, he's going to show up and attack eventually. Like this guy, they're going to pile it on for a few weeks or whatever you say with Dark Order. And eventually, especially if there's more of a crowd around, Cody's going to show back up and attack Brody Lee. That's what I'm thinking is happening. The lights will go out. They love that.
I'm thinking that he will be back, but it's not going to be as fast as you think. It's going to be a bit longer.
Maybe it's a month.
He is taking some time off because he's been going hard for years now.
You know, if he's gone for more than 30 days, I'll be shocked. Unless he's injured, I don't know about it, but I think they're working us right now.
Stand up to me. The open challenge is over. All you little independent wrestlers, no more TV time on my watch. And Cody, you will never, ever, ever get this back.
See, if they didn't have all the silly casket stuff and they came right out, had him cut that promo and just get through with that, I think that would have been perfect. That would have been like extreme top notch to me, my opinion. But doing all the silly joke stuff with 10 being inside the casket and having him attack his own members and it just, I felt like it went on just too long and felt a bit too chaotic. But again, that's just me. Then we went into Big Swole after that.
Oh God! Here we go.
Awful.
Here we go, Jake. Worst thing of the night. I can't wait for this one.
Absolutely. I mean, they couldn't even get through just a normal tie-up without botching. It felt like everything they did here just fell flat, and the crowd tried to be at least somewhat passive with them, but forget it. It just, nothing was passable.
It was
rough to watch. It was not enjoyable.
They had whoever the girl is, what's her name?
Big Swole?
No,
Reba?
Britt Baker. Britt Baker's friend, who's like a gymnast or something, but not a wrestler.
Reba.
Not a wrestler, but a gymnast. They got away with what they did with her last couple times. They involved her in the physicality. And we all said, wow, she is not a wrestler. She did a great job, though, she exceeded expectations for a non-wrestler. That was pretty good. And what they did tonight was they went, okay, let's do even more. And this, you saw tonight what her ceiling was. This was
Rebel,
a mess.
I don't know why they had her even bother. Reba Rebel, whatever her name is.
Oh, my God.
It just didn't work. And like you said, you can kind of, pull the wool over people's eyes and do little stunts and things like that. But it just didn't pan out this week. That's for sure. Like you summed it up great. They hit the ceiling last week and they did all they could. Now it was just a rinse and repeat of what we saw before, just on a lesser level.
Right. Yep. It's absolutely. And it's, listen, she's awesome for getting in there and just messing around, but it's kind of like when you're watching it on TV, it's like, oh my God. Now, I think the one problem is, her goofiness in the ring, that's been done before. We've seen guys who get in the ring who aren't really wrestlers and they got to perform somehow, Michael Cole and, Jim Ross has had to do things and stuff like that. But it's like it never exposes it too much. It sort of still feels acceptable. This was like Linda McMahon or something. This was that type of level. But because Linda McMahon is Linda McMahon, you can excuse it because you're like, the stakes are so high and crazy that you're seeing Linda McMahon in there and the story was so wild that like you're sort of accepting of it. But this sort of no-name person with Britt Baker doing it, was
I guess Rebel was in TNA, but I didn't watch her.
She was?
TNA when she was in TNA.
She's a wrestler?
I guess so.
What?
According to chat, yeah.
Why is this person in the ring, dude? Why am I sitting in a basement? I mean, what?
Leaves a lot to be desired.
You're changing, if that's the case, fuck this bitch.
Marvelous One said Rebel's best move was a split in TNA, so.
Dude, what? Why is she in anything then? I thought she was only doing this because she was legit Britt Baker's friend and she was asked to be on the show to push her in the wheelchair, and then they started actually deciding to put her on TV even though she wasn't involved in this type of stuff. You're telling me
Rebel has been wrestling since 2013. She started in Impact TNA. She went to OVW, then back to Impact. She went to World Wonder Ring Stardom. Then she went to OVW again. She was in WWE briefly, and now she's in AEW.
But she sucks.
And here, I wasn't aware of that either until I really, looked at her again. I'm like, I swear she is actually a wrestler.
Oh my God! I'm gonna have a fucking conniption.
I thought like you, it was where she didn't know how to wrestle, and they just had somebody as a friend go out there and do their best. And kind of like a Pat McAfee moment, without the training.
Right.
And being like, oh, this is good. Somebody stepped into the wrestling world. But no, she's got a lot of bad matches on YouTube. And
oh, my God.
Yeah. I don't know if she was in the negative 5-star My Vag match, but.
Oh, my God. You don't know. Now I'm going to be critical because before I was taking it easy because I was like, hey, listen, this non-wrestler girl, she's doing the best she can. It's kind of fun. But tonight it was bad. But now you're telling me she's a wrestler?
Yes, she's a wrestler.
If you can't hit somebody in the head with the broom, we're talking about Joe Cronin, me, when I was 14 years old, could sell and do these moves. You can't hit somebody in the head. She couldn't hit somebody in the head with a broom tonight. Or a crutch, rather. It was a crutch. The crutch swing or whatever they did, what the fuck was that? You're a professional wrestler for real? You're not a professional wrestler.
Yes, she is the My Vag match. I guess it was Shelley versus Rebel.
Oh my God, dude,
the minus 5 stars, like classic, the worst match in TNA history, that was her.
I mean, fuck off. Like,
so who said that in the chat? I'll have to go back and give him credit in a second. But whoever's saying, was this the My Vag girl? Yeah, that's her.
Oh my God.
So
I'm
Shelley
gonna have a
and
meltdown.
Rebel, that TNA match that got the negative 5 stars. Oh, that's her. There we go. That's why.
I mean, this is sickening. I'm going to be sick. I'm going to be fucking sick. I'm going to be fucking sick, Jake.
It was Super Champion Rocker. Yeah, I'll have to send you this match later for you to make yourself even more sick with. It's oh God.
I mean, this is...
If you haven't seen it before, it's hilarious because it's so bad that it's funny.
This is out of shape Joe Cronin.
A couple of shots.
This is out of shape Joe Cronin. 230-pound, out of shape Joe Cronin.
He's going to throw Goods in the chair. Look out. A reversal. Goods. Oh, Cronin into the chair instead. Cronin down. Cronin back up. Look out. Super kick to the face.
I mean, you can't do that? Or you can't hit somebody? What are we doing? Like, I'm a schlub piece of garbage, and you're on national TV in a ring. And there's all those independent wrestlers and all these people everywhere that could be doing all kinds of things. Sure, as pushing the wheelchair around and as the sidekick, oh my God, she had to get in the ring. Great. But what they did tonight, are you serious? I mean, people make mistakes, but this is not... Wow, you just changed my whole mind about her. I was giving her all kinds of credit.
My vag.
Oh my God, dude, I'm gonna be sick. I'm gonna throw up on somebody.
Have you ever seen that match or no?
No, I don't even know what you're talking about.
It's in TNA. It's one of the worst rated matches of all time, and it's between Shelley and Rebel. It's horrible. She literally gets hit in the crotch at one part and goes around screaming "my vag." Like the thing is so bad. It's one of like the most common botchamania like coverage matches.
I mean, dude,
that's how classic of a bad match it is.
I wrestled a teddy bear. It's better.
Yeah, that teddy bear has more in-ring athleticism than she does.
A non-living entity teddy bear has more charisma and execution than this lady that was in the ring tonight, and I'm not joking. This bear has more agility and sellability than that lady in the ring tonight. Let's think about that. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. This bear, every move I executed with this bear that's not living was better than what this lady did on national TV tonight. And the crowd was dead. And the people watching in the chat were like, what the fuck are we watching? And there was no reason for it. Like, it's... I don't know, man. I guess it's not even worth going on about it anymore. It's not worth it.
But yeah,
whatever.
It just proves how awful that women's match. Oh, I mean, it was rough to watch. My God.
That was bad.
Then after that, we had the preview for All Out, and then Matt Hardy took on Sammy Guevara, and we covered that as well. So all in all, I'd give the night a 6.5.
And I think we both agree that this would have been a much better night. It was a good night. 6 out of 10.
Yeah, still enjoyable.
6 or 7 out of 10, I guess a lot of people are saying. But it would have been an even better night if Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara would have had 4 more minutes of on-air time. The match needed to have 4 more minutes.
The match didn't even hit 7 minutes, so...
Yeah, it needed to be at least 10 minutes. At least.
And
8.
it looked like Matt wasn't doing too great, though, honestly. He looked like he had a hard time getting top ropes and climbing around the ring, and he looked like he was a bit slower than usual, too. I don't know if I was the only one to know it, but... Plus, they broke it up with the 2 commercial breaks, which made it even worse.
The pacing of the last The pace,
last hour,
especially the last 35 minutes of the show.
Especially
pacing.
the last 35 minutes with the women's match, the 8-man tag, in this crap.
Like I would give the last hour of AEW probably like a 4, which is like WWE territory, and probably the first hour like a 6 or 7 or something. So maybe a 5. But so the point is, the last 35 minutes of AEW tonight was horribly paced. Then they were doing all these promos that they couldn't get right. The JR was just all over the place, and then Jericho had to recorrect him, but that was confusing, and then JR would uncorrect himself, and it was bizarre. Anyway, I all in all, AEW 6 out of 10 tonight. Little discombobulated, still more entertaining than WWE. And that's about it, man. That's all I have to say about AEW. Jake, is there anything else you want to say before we quickly dive into some of the wrestling news and the ratings and the payback and all that?
AEW. So
what?
That is it for AEW this week.
All
that
right.
is all we have. NXT ratings, they held steady second week without competition. They went ahead and had 824,000 viewers. So they went down about 29,000, but that's still not bad, holding strong at over 800,000.
You would have liked to see them hit the 900 spot, though, with...
But they didn't have anything advertised or I mean, they were following up from the pay-per-view, which helps.
Right.
Sometimes, but there was nothing really advertised at this point to make people tune in. As where I'm genuinely curious to see how this show does on Tuesday because of the Iron Man match, the Fatal 4-Way. Those are 4 huge stars. Anybody in that match has a claim to that title. I mean, really, you could see any one of those 4 men be the champion again. And so that should be a huge ratings draw. I know everybody's talking about it on social media.
Right. Yeah, I think it will do all right, but I just feel a little confused here. Like all out isn't. They kept making it seem like All Out was this Saturday, but it's not till next week.
That way, but yeah, it's the week after.
It's next Saturday.
The way they spent the last 5 minutes of the show before the Matt Hardy match, announcing all the matches and sharing it, surprised me because that killed time that they could have used in the Matt Hardy match.
Right. And maybe they knew something about Hardy. Maybe they felt like, hey, we need to.
Yeah, that's what makes me wonder. Maybe because he just didn't look up to be 100%.
Maybe he needs an injury timeout for a month or so, and he's going to be off wrestling, and that's why they sort of tried to wrap up this
storyline.
And by the way, this is a mini story that me and you talk about a lot, where like WWE doesn't do this enough, where you've got your pay-per-view stories, but you've also got a story that helps you week to week on the show.
Yeah, that keeps people tuning in. That's not just all build for the pay-per-view.
Right. And maybe it will lead to a match that they continue this at the pay-per-view. But if it doesn't, this sort of seemed like it was the dot.
Yeah, no, this seems like it was the end of their feud. Sammy got hit the biggest win of his career, they said.
Yep.
Matt still didn't get his revenge, but it doesn't look like Matt's doing too great, so maybe he will get some time off.
Or I just don't think he'll have a lot of time in the ring,
Yeah, maybe they just won't. They'll keep him as a manager for Private Party or something like that. That makes more sense. But yeah, NXT with 824,000 viewers, they did better with their 18 to 49 demographic as well. So they held steady with that at a 0.24. And they went from 23rd to 24th place for the overnight ratings.
Wow.
For the usual demos. So not bad overall.
Yeah, not bad for NXT. It was good, man. And it shows you that if NXT and AEW were on different nights, they potentially
It would help both. There's, like we said, with AEW, the one thing we didn't really make note of in the night of the last review for the Saturday show was that, hey, that's great on them. They prove that they have a audience, because not only did the show end or start at a wrong time too, because it was supposed to start at 6:00 on Saturday, but it started late because of the NBA games. So people had to tune in past what their DVRs did, because your DVR wasn't going to record the last hour. That was my issue. I missed like the last 40 minutes not being on my DVR because the show started late. So the people that watched live, about 750,000 people, or 850, excuse me, they had to go ahead and, actively seek out Dynamite at a certain time. So it just shows that they have a dedicated audience, basically.
Jake, there's one thing we got to do.
What's that?
Before we continue with Outta Nowhere, we got to play the intro. Oh, yeah! Welcome to Outta Nowhere!
Fuck PG in its mouth. Fuck Russell, tear it out. Do the same with SmackDown, same result. Week to week, scream and shout. We are told to shut our mouths. No more lies, thorn in your eye. We're all together. This is war. Out of nowhere. 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 This is war. Out of nowhere.
Yeah, son. All right, we got the intro out of the way. We almost missed it. You can't do Outta
Can't have
Nowhere.
that.
It's got to be played. It has to be played. So
Tradition on YouTube. Can't not have that.
shout out to the people that mentioned that I did not play the intro to start Outta Nowhere. A little discombobulated myself tonight. So there
Well,
we played
it's
it.
not often that we have Outta Nowhere with AEW. So
Right.
as far as being discombobulated, WWE Payback is Sunday, and the matches, as far as their finishes go, they're currently up in the air. They don't know what they're going to do. Roman Reigns' big return is obviously on the mind of fans, but people don't know going forward as far as creative what's decided for the finishes for Sunday's show.
Wow.
Ringside News has been told that nothing is decided for Payback yet. There has been no word on match finishes at this point. Some people have an idea, but nothing has been set in concrete. It's either undecided by Vince or he keeps them to himself for the moment. So either he's afraid of leaks and he's not talking to the rest of creative, or he doesn't know yet and he's holding off. He ripped up Monday Night's script and wasn't done finishing the script, as we heard, until an hour into Monday Night Raw. So, I mean, this is commonplace and practice for Vince, but it only seems to be getting worse recently.
Yeah, and this is never good because whenever Vince rushes or last minutes something, it always feels like it sucks.
It shows. When he rushes through something, it certainly shows.
Yeah, that's the thing that is like, oh no, this is not good because it's going to be bad. It's going to be rushed. It's going to be generic. If it's rushed, it's always seemingly like generic by Vince, which explains why nothing really cool happened at all on Raw whatsoever.
Yeah.
So it's not good news.
No, not at all. I mean, same thing with Retribution. Possibly a member of theirs might have been written off TV this week, but we're not sure if that's even going to be the final members.
Right.
We had went ahead and said before, currently with the way they have this group.
Fans? We are live
Oh,
in Kingston,
what the
Massachusetts
frig?
at Pins.
Oh my
This is
God.
New England
Good
All-
Lord. Jesus.
Commentary's coming back up.
My commentary is coming on YouTube. Let's get suggesting my own commentary on YouTube to me, I guess.
Right now, tentatively, the members of Retribution are Caden Carter, Mia Yim, Shane Thorne, Dominic Dijakovic, Dio Madden, and Chelsea Green. Now, that might be just the people playing those roles currently, but they still, Vince didn't have this as a full thought out idea. This is something that he's staging moment to moment and week to week. So the final people of who's actually under the mask could be anybody, and these people are just playing them still. But I guarantee, I have a feeling that this storyline is going to be another one of those just that, disappears and falls to the wayside.
Oh, yeah, dude, this stinks of like abandonment. The Retribution is abandoned. Or in the very end of it, it'll just be dumb. Like real quick, they'll be like, oh, it was me.
It was a group of people trying to break in, but they're done now.
Or like,
They're
yeah,
done.
or like they get arrested, or basically, yeah, Retribution's there and Vince McMahon, like a SWAT team comes in and grabs them all and arrests them and takes them away. and they'll be like, take that, like, you know, they'll never show up here again now. Thank God, finally Retribution's been taken care of, and they're going to jail. They're going to jail, and that's it. And we never see them again.
That would be it, and it'd be done.
Right.
Because now that Mia Yim lost to Shotzi Blackheart, they noted on commentary how, you know, there wasn't heat, but it was just a match for the sake of competition. She beat her clean, and this was supposed to be a way for her to be off of TV for a little bit. So the HBIC could be headed to the main roster, which is possible because they are planning a draft soon as well. But it's like, what are we excited for with Retribution? You know, who could it be? Even if it was people normally on the roster, I don't think there's anybody that it could be at this point in time that I'd really be excited for. I don't think there's anybody that they could really pull the mask off and I'd be like, wow, that was a good choice, because Retribution's just been kind of handled poorly so far anyways.
Yeah, I just think that it's like losing steam the more it goes on. And now if it ends up being something epic and big, and or they pile onto it, then okay, good. You know, but we can't help but feel they're wasting our time, and it's going to end up being a big goddamn joke. And by the way, everybody on Twitter, I'm at JCS commentary on Twitter. If you guys can, go retweet and like a couple of my last posts. I did one for, obviously the Road Dogg's father, VXS Wrestling, and a bunch of other announcements on my Twitter. If you have your phone in your hand aside, feel free to jump over there and give me some love on Twitter. And follow me on Twitter, at JCS commentary. And you can follow Jake, too, at Countdown Ended. Follow both of us on Twitter. I definitely need to get followers back. Used to have 36,000, then I got banned. Then I had 10,000, then I got banned. Then I had 6,000, then I got banned. Then I had 3,000, then I got banned. Now I got 1,500, and we could use more just so that we can get the word out to you guys. I know I don't love Twitter or anything like that, but to be able to get the messages out to you guys and everything else would be really good. Unless you're on Patreon, then you should get these alerts that I'm live there as well if you don't do Twitter. And here's a look at the $25 producers list for this month. Shout out to everybody who signed up, including the most recent one, Junebug, becoming a $25 producer. Thank you for that. And for the people wondering, I was able to get back to a lot of people today because I got my phone. I got my new phone. It came in today. Phenomenal phone.
Oh, good. Excellent.
I only got this one because it was, I almost got it for damn free. Not for free, but it's, you know, my last phone was paid for, so I didn't have to pay anything whatsoever for my phone, so I was hoping it would last me a couple more years. Now it's broken, and this is going to cost me $25 a month now, unfortunately. But it is a sick phone, so I do recommend if you are looking at the Note 20 Ultra, it's a pretty boss phone, you know. But the battery lasts less than the Note 10, and it doesn't have the fast chargeability. But it does have 500 gigabytes of memory. It's crazy. If you can get the deal on it, go try Best Buy. Best Buy has a way better deal than Verizon or AT&T and all the other people. For some reason, Best Buy has like a sick deal. And
you're just trying to get people to go into the store at this point.
Go into the store, get COVID, and then you'll die with your phone in your arms. No, I'm just kidding. But no, it's a pretty good phone. I'll try to give a review on it later because people have been asking about it, and it didn't really cost me much. But some people, it may cost you if you don't have a good plan or the plan ain't right. And I think it's a little overpriced overall for the for it being a brand new phone. It should be less because it doesn't do some things better than the Note 10. But anyway, we're getting off track. But my point is that if you can get it at the deal that Best Buy is giving it at, then go for it. But if you had to pay, I wouldn't pay $50 for this a month or more. That's crazy. But $20 a month, I think that's a deal. But other than that, no. But it sucks because I had a phone for free. So it sucks that I broke my phone, but I'm an idiot. And funny enough, ironically, I was on the phone with the mortgage people trying to lower my mortgage about, and then I dropped the phone that I'd paid for and it breaks. I don't know. It sucked. All Elite Wrestling. Women's tag match was on TV. Yeah, I mean, that tag match shouldn't have even been on Dark. And it was on national TV. That was...
Here we go.
I feel bad for Big Swole.
Here we go. About to get it, man. Here we go. Oh, no.
Joe, I love you and your show, but defending NBA and NHL ain't cool. I get what you're saying, but hair for all the sports ball divisions.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, man. I go back and forth on whether I want to hate them or whatever, but I'm not really defending them. I'm sort of just saying I understand why the NHL did it. You know, you wouldn't want to like bail on your fellow sportsmen and be called the racist league or something like that. So Jay Pala, you know, I just think they were like, they felt they had to do something, and the NHL has been super virtue signaling all over the place. It's been insane. It's been kind of nauseating, but you know, I understand why they did it. I'm not really defending them in a way. I'm just sort of, I kind of get it this time.
Here we go. I'm about to get it, man.
I don't know.
Here we go. About to get it, man. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, no.
Remember, when you watch any sports ball or new Hollywood movie, you support Antifa, BLM, and all the terrible things people like Brie Larson support.
Jay Paulo, remember when you watch any sports or new Hollywood movie, you support the Antifa, BLM, and all the terrible things people like Brie Larson support. Yeah, like a lot of pedophiles, Jay Paulo. Damn. Jim M., I'm a little bit done with sports too. I'm a little bit annoyed. I really am. Please take my mind off of these things. Instead, they're putting my mind even more on them, but that's what they want to do. So, I don't know what to tell you. But Jay Paul is a black guy, so he's had enough. A lot of black guys have said that they've had enough. So.
What else we got? Oh, a little bit of the bubbly. That's it. Want some bubbly? Look at this stuff. Oh, a little bit of the bubbly. That's it.
The NBA supports BLM and Antifa communist attackers #garbage.
The NBA supports BLM and Antifa communist attacks #garbage, says Metal Forever. Yeah, it's really hard to wrap your mind around all the stuff that's going on. Sometimes one side is right, sometimes the other side is right, but either way, each side makes himself right. It's crazy. It's weird.
To be able to have a peaceful protest, but all of these actual riots are the problems.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with people defending their businesses with weapons either. I support that.
Chat party.
I don't really care. I just think it's dumb.
Yeah, and I mean, like, listen, I watched the old white man who was, regardless of what side you're on, there was an old white man who was trying to put out a fire at his business, and they called him a white supremacist, and then they beat him up. They beat the shit out of him.
They knocked him out cold.
And other rioters or other protesters were helping him, and they were yelling at the guy that did it, like, what are you doing to this guy? But the guy was bleeding and all fucked up. And then there's a person in the background going, that's what happens when you don't care about our blah, blah, blah. And it's like, what does this guy have to do with anything? He's just a business owner who's an old dude who's running around with a fire extinguisher trying to put out his business. It's on fire. And you're saying it's justified to beat him up because? No, that's what evil people do. You're an evil person if you think, I'm going to go beat the shit out of an old man who's trying to put his business fire out of his business, and then you call him a white supremacist. That's the new thing. Oh, it's okay to kill people because I'm just going to say white supremacist. And by the way, it's happened to me all week on Twitter for questioning. I questioned some things. And I get called a Trump supporter by my wife. I get called a libtard by Dave Rose. And I get called a white supremacist by all these other Twitter people.
And
I'm sorry. You're making enemies, you stupid fucks. You're making fucking enemies. If you really cared about bringing people together and getting a message heard, you would make friends. And then you would get 80% of America on your side, and we would go to the states, the governors, and the politicians, and we would say, enough with this police brutality. Let's change how the police operate. Let's fund them for cameras, and let's train them a better way, in a different way, and we'd all be on the same page. 80% of the country would be. 80% of the country would agree. Yes, let's have the police be a little more accountable, and everybody would agree with you. But going to diners with 100 people and surrounding white people or Hispanic people and screaming in their face, say it matters, say it now, motherfucker, you pasty cracker, say it. That's not going to get people on your side, you fucking idiots. That's going to make people hate you and see that you're bullies. So you don't care about uniting people. You don't care about making people see your side and empathizing with you. Instead, you're drawing a line in the sand that's creating a 50-50 red versus blue situation. If you want to get people on your side, you hold the sign, and when they come out of a diner, you say, you engage them maybe in a conversation, say, hey, do you support like our cause at all? And if they say no, you go, well, why not? Because we're trying to, make people think about how police brutality is and stuff like that. Maybe you could think about it. Nah, we're cool, man. We're just here for dinner, whatever. It's like, all right, but you should think about it. Like, I mean, really think about it. And maybe they go home and they think about it. But if you just get in their face and you go, you better fucking bow down, you motherfucker, you pasty fucking piece of shit. Say BLM, say Black Lives Matter. You fucking say it. Say it, you fucking white, you fucking pasty motherfucker, say it. What are you, a white supremacist? You're a white supremacist. And you're just sitting there eating a meal. You might actually be on their side. But because there's people screaming in your face, you're now upset and confused and scared. And now you don't agree with them anymore. So you're actually making people enemies. You don't surround somebody and demand that they say things or put a fist in the air or do this or that. You're going to make people fucking hate you, you stupid fucking idiot. And you're going to make more people vote for Donald Trump. You're doing the opposite. The opposite. The videos are going viral. You are now scaring white people. Do you understand that? You're fucking scaring them. So now they want more cops. They want more cops. They want to fund the cops more, and they want the cops even more than they did before. Because you're demonstrating exactly what's going on outside. Gunfire, riots, violence. Guess what? The majority are now voting for more police. You literally did the opposite. Oh my God, we better not get rid of the police because a mob might surround us and make us do something. The next step is when someone doesn't agree with you, you call them a white supremacist. How is that possible? That's crazy. So if you do that, you're going to lose friends and allies. You need to convince people that there's a problem with police, but you need to do it in a good way, in the right way. Instead, you're just creating more Trump voters. So you're stupid. But anyway, that's my point about all this stupidity. I'm voting for my cock in 2020, by the way. I am going to go into the ballot box, and I'm going to draw a big fucking 6-inch dick on the ballot. That's what I'm doing, Jake. I'm drawing a dick. And in the middle of it, I'm going to write...
I'm
going to write Jesse Ventura. And then on the left testicle, I'm going to write Tulsi Gabbard. And on the right testicle, I'm going to draw a question mark because I don't know what else to do with the thing. But they're going to see a penis. And they're going to have to count it. They're going to be like, look, a dick when they get the ballot box. It's going to be crazy. It's unbelievable. You're seeing it everywhere, though. You're seeing this violence everywhere and these people on Twitter and these just psychopaths like demanding things. The next step is dragging people you think are evil. Dragging people you think are evil out of their houses and killing them in the streets. That's the next step. That's where it goes. Read up on history. That's the next step.
And history repeats itself every time.
It keeps doing it. And you're dragging allies out of the house, by the way. You're literally creating enemies out of your allies. People who were on the fence, like, yeah, man, I think there might be a problem with the police. I don't know, like this doesn't seem good. I think they really need. And then all of a sudden they start seeing the videos of we're seeing on Twitter and stuff, and they go, oh fuck, like no, never mind. I'm not on board with that. These people are fucking crazy. So you're fucking it up. Stop doing it. Stop surrounding white people and scaring the shit out of them, beating them up, because you're ruining your point. But you're seeing it here in AEW. You're seeing the fans are fighting all over fucking Twitter about AEW and WWE, and everyone's fighting with each other about all kinds of shit. It's crazy. Jake, what were you going to say? What were you going to say about... Should we do Payback tonight, or should we do it tomorrow? Should we do it tonight? We should do it tonight, right?
It's up to you. I can do it tomorrow as well. Either or.
No. Thanks for asking, though.
What tickles your fancy?
I guess we could jet through it, right? I mean, like, let's play the donations, actually. Let's see what you guys are saying.
I say we get through it.
Super Chat Party.
What do you think about the rumors of Roman being Retribution leader?
see it coming to fruition with him being the leader. They want Roman to do his own thing, and he's going to be tied up in his own storylines on SmackDown. I don't see it. It definitely is probably going to be...
He'll probably be the one that takes them out. He'll punch them all. He'll knock them all out and beat the shit out of all of them all by themselves, and then we'll never see them again.
On SmackDown, they'll go to attack, and then Roman will take them out single-handedly, and that'll be it.
Oh, my God.
Them all. Even the women. I can't envision him being the leader. I know he's got this shirt, but I think it was just supposed to be on the line of Stone Cold shirt, not a clue to Retribution's leader.
Right.
Super Chat Party.
My Red Sox already suck, but the dumb political stuff makes it even worse.
Oh, yeah.
Was Are You Worth Watching? Been around for a long time. Stay sexy, Joe and Jake.
I got my Red Sox shirt on. Yeah, last place, motherfuckers! I don't think I've ever seen the Red Sox in last place in my entire life, 36 years. I don't know. Someone would have to pull that history up for me. Jim M, thanks for the $4.99.
Sexy, Jim. Yeah, I agree. AEW is worth watching tonight. Joe gave it a 6. I gave it a 6.5, but it's still worth tuning in for. And since it's not live, if anything starts to bore you, you can fast forward a little bit, but definitely check it out.
Right. Oh, boy. It's like...
Noble is back now.
What?
Jamie Noble has returned.
Oh, to WWE in the background?
He was sick with coronavirus for quite some time.
I did not know that. Wait a minute. Are you serious?
A little bit of the bubbly. That's it. Want some bubbly? Look at this stuff. A little bit of the bubbly. That's it.
Last time a 60-minute Iron Man match took place on national TV was July 26, 2004, when Chris Benoit defended the world title against Triple H on Raw. Crazy. Also, I think NXT and AEW are more enjoyable on different nights.
Oh, yeah. No, I think you're right, Matt, because we can sit there and indulge ourselves in both of them. Yeah, I think you're right. When you have to...
Attention, and then you don't get anything spoiled with, either show that you didn't watch, and you're not having to worry about, just check out the YouTube clips because I already know what's going to happen, and none of that. You get to watch it live each night. They both get their own full, proper attention paid to them. That's what it needs to be. No back and forth stuff.
Absolutely. You are absolutely right. It's so much better. Matt the Misfit, I agree. I think Jake mentioned this yesterday, though, about the...
Yeah, we brought this up about the Iron Man match. But
which you would have seen, Matt, had you been here. What's up, Matt the Misfit?
But
sorry,
Noble's
man. I did pick on him at the beginning of the show the other day. I went back and watched it, and at the beginning of the show, I ranted about him because of the NXT thing, and then I think I was like, I kind of fucking shit on him at the beginning of the show. I'm sorry, Matt. I love you, man.
I'm sure he knows it's all in good fun.
Yeah. Well,
but Noble's been involved in doing a lot of the stuff with Seth Rollins. So anytime you see a Seth Rollins match, usually Noble's involved. He was the one that produced the Dominic Mysterio debut that you liked at SummerSlam.
Yeah, good.
So he's really helping out in the back. So that's a good thing.
Jamie Noble is quite the midget.
Yes.
But Jake, I've got video of me when I interviewed the champ of New England All-Star Wrestling, and I look like the Keebler elf here. Look at this. I look like a Keebler elf. I do. I look like a fucking Keebler elf.
All-Star Wrestling with the first ever.
That is a Keebler elf right there.
New England All-Star Wrestling champion, the Endgame, Paul Jourdain. Paul, what's it been like for you? Becoming the first champion of a company is always pivotal, and it's always a historical moment. How does it feel to have that feather under your cap?
I have been working for this for well over a year. I have been fighting tooth and nail, struggling just to get...
I seriously look, and I believe this was our buddy... God, who was it that said it? I think it was... Shit. He always texts us. He's always in the chat. I want to give him credit because he's the one who called me a Keebler elf. And I was watching this episode the other day where I was playing the clip from the interview.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because he called me it's the Costanza. It's the Costanza. He's the one who said it.
Yep.
He called me the goddamn...
He said the Keebler elf himself. He just said it in the chat.
He called me the Keebler elf and I was dying. Reckless Jeff says he's boycotting mayonnaise for the week. I agree with you, man. You have to, man. You have to agree. You have to boycott. There's a lot of crazy white people. Like let's be honest. But there's more of us, so there's going to be more crazy ones. So I am the Keebler elf here. I do have the comb over going in this video, And if you don't believe me, here it is. By the way, I was 20 pounds heavier here too. I've really lost weight. Look at that. Look at the hair. Yikes. Look out. But look at Paul Jourdain's beautiful locks. I wish I had those.
Sexy locks.
Try having 3 kids.
Keebler I think it just makes him look massive.
No, I mean, like, he is a tall guy. He's really tall. Like, I'm actually taller than a lot of the wrestlers now. When I'm in the back and I'm interviewing guys, I'm like, damn, I'm taller than this guy. I'm taller than that guy. I'm taller than all these wrestlers are. But he's the real deal though. He's like 6'6" or 7. I think he's 6'7". He's a big dude. That's a big guy.
He's a big boy.
I am shocked we didn't see a Keith Lee dumpster fire donation tonight. I got to tell you.
We thought we'd get several of them. That's been stuck in mine and Danny's head.
Really?
Yeah, constantly. Pat McAfee might be looking for a match with none other than Triple H. How funny is that after we jokingly said stuff about Triple H the night before?
Yeah, I said he should wrestle when he comes back, the Karrion Kross.
Yeah. So Pat McAfee actually wants to have a match with Triple H. So during the After the Bell, Pat McAfee implied that he wouldn't mind having a match with Triple H. The game shoved McAfee out of the building pretty hard after after he punted Adam Cole, and they think that they could use that to really, be the catalyst for their feud. And I think I'd be all for it. But that's more of a main roster thing than it is NXT. But if they handled it how they did at the most recent takeover, then sign me up.
Yeah, I mean, I think my theory was that Triple H was worried about getting in the ring in NXT. He didn't want to take away at all from any of these guys or do anything. But I don't know if I like that. I still rather see Triple H versus Karrion Kross when he comes back in that situation I told you about.
I mean, that's a dream scenario, but because that worked out really well with the way you fantasy booked that one. But with Matt saying this, I wouldn't be against it. If it did come to fruition, did happen, I'd be for it.
But to me, it's like he already lost to Adam Cole. So it's like now he's going to face Triple H.
What if he beats Triple H? Even if he cheated, he beats Triple H, and that gets him to have one more match against somebody else.
I don't think I can believe that. What I could believe is that he gets disqualified because he cheats or he uses a weapon at the end. But then he beats the shit out of Triple H. Like, he leaves Triple H bleeding in the ring all fucked up, but he got disqualified. And now somebody else steps up to be like, you don't do that, Triple H. And somebody takes, basically goes after Pat McAfee, and then they have a match. Or maybe Pat McAfee has a rematch with Triple H, and it's a cage match or something like that. And Triple H wins, but they're using Pat McAfee to be a heel. So, but why? Why are they trying to get Triple H over? Or like, what would be the point of that?
That's true. What would be?
I mean, maybe TV ratings, but
if it was to put McAfee over as a big heel for somebody else to conquer, that could work.
Yes, if someone took over, like, all right, yeah, you're not going to come into NXT and beat up Triple H. He's a legend, and I'm going to step up, or Ciampa even, like I'm the sickest son of. If he's not the champion, he could be like, I'm the sickest son of a bitch you ever seen, besides Triple H. I'll brutalize you, and I'll do this, I'll do that. You'll go back to your TV show, a paraplegic, those type of things. Somebody like that, and I don't know, maybe that could work. But the Karrion Kross thing, I think, would give me enough feeling to bring back Triple H. But putting him in there with like Pat McAfee. It's like, somebody's got to get the rub who's a younger guy. Otherwise, what do we, unless it's just ratings and you're like, fuck it, we don't give a shit. We want ratings. And like Triple H, Pat McAfee would give NXT ratings. Let's do it.
Shit bum.
Hey Joe, stick to the wrestling talk. You're out of your element here.
BLM, thanks for the $5, man. Appreciate it. Well, the only reason why I'm talking about it is because you guys are all bringing it up and I'm constantly hearing about it on Twitter. But yeah, I'd like to stick to just the wrestling. But silence is violence, right? So, hey, fuck it. We talked about it. Or whatever the fuck people say.
We got 4 matches Sunday announced so far. I'm sure we'll get more tomorrow.
But I care about you guys. Like, I believe BLM. Your life does matter to me. I love you guys. Like, I really do. I don't know about the whole situations. But I'm just, I'm talking about the specific situations. Doesn't mean I don't support you guys. I do. I support everybody. But I support you. I love we love our black brothers and sisters. We care about you. And we want you to be treated the same. All right? So that's first. All right? But the SJW stuff and the weird thing about burning people's buildings, and that's okay, I'm not down with that. But I'm down with supporting you in a real way. But that's it. Anyway, soapbox over. Go ahead, Jake.
We got 4 matches announced so far. 4 Payback on Sunday with WWE. I'm sure after SmackDown tomorrow, we'll have a few more. There's rumors that we might get a SmackDown Tag Team title defense, and we might see the Intercontinental title be defended as well. So I could see Jeff Hardy getting in a match. He could even have a rematch against AJ, and I'd still be okay with that. But right now, the 4 matches that are advertised is Apollo Crews taking on Bobby Lashley. As far as this one goes, I think Bobby Lashley is going to win. I think after everything they've done with Apollo Crews, it seems to be the story right now is you've beaten everybody else, but you won't be able to beat Bobby.
Shit. Yeah, what's the point in this group? You know, it's like they're attacking the underground. Shouldn't they be dominant? Shouldn't they win?
What are they doing? They're not doing anything. They just lost the 24/7 title again, and
yeah, but they're constantly featured though too. So it's like, what are they?
But they're not winning, and they're not achieving anything. So what's the point? They're losing constantly. That's why I was shocked that MVP lost so much.
Yeah, I mean, I am too. I don't understand. It's kind of like Brody Lee, right, in the Dark Order. Yes. You know, he needed to get a win to he looks like he's just another goof leading a bunch of goofs. But now he looks like he's a serious son of a bitch who's leading a bunch of guys who could do some damage.
He changes the course of history, you know?
Right.
At least for now. So that's what they need. They need to make the Hurt, group go ahead and actually be a Hurt business, actually hurt people and be winners.
Bobby, MVP needs to kind of win. And Bobby Lashley needs to almost always win. So Bobby Lashley needs to destroy somebody and win. If Bobby Lashley can't destroy people and win, what the hell is the point in this group? And why are they getting so much airtime? And how are they able to beat up all the underground people and kick their ass and do all these other things? But now they're just going to lose every time they have a main match. I mean, that makes no sense. So Apollo Crews is like, he appears super weak. Too. I mean, this is a mess.
And Apollo Crews had to cheat to beat Bobby Lashley in the arm wrestling match. So that made him look even worse as a face. And yes, they were trying to say, oh, Bobby Lashley cheated first, but all Bobby did was had his feet in a different position. Apollo actually cheated. So the whole thing was just ridiculous and shouldn't have happened anyways, but that's what makes me think Bobby Lashley is really going to win.
You know, and the people making comments that WWE doesn't care about black people, you're on drugs. The whole goddamn show last week was set a record for African Americans on TV. Think about all the minorities and the people that were on TV. I mean, you're right. Sometimes people aren't booked well, but neither are a lot of the white people. So again, I'm not bringing this up. You guys, people are mentioning this in the chat that oh my God, they don't care about black people. Yeah, in the past they certainly didn't. But right now, it's a little different. We really how are we complaining more now than 15 years ago? We're complaining more now. And there was a record broken. I think in all of wrestling history, we saw the most people on most black people featured on cable wrestling last week than ever before in history. And some of those people had belts. Apollo Crews, the tag team, whatever the fuck. I can't remember people's names anymore. It's too many people. The goddamn Party Express or the Street Profits. There you go.
Oh, Profits, yeah.
Street Profits. There's a name for another team, the Party Express. That would be another ripoff. You get the, whatever. So I'm just saying to you that, Kofi Kingston, why are we complaining about this the most ever now when it's the best it's ever been? I mean, yeah, still, you should be. I would think the AEW fans would be triggered. The SJW AEW fans would be like, "What the fuck? You said black, minority." They've done the WWE has been killing them as far as featuring.
But he was on, Talking Smack and basically said that, it was disrespectful for Kofi to be treated the way he was, which no one disagrees with. Him dropping the title in 3 seconds to Brock and then being forced out of the title picture was terrible. That never should have happened.
Didn't he hold the belt for 6 months?
Yeah, he had it for 6 months, but people overlook that fact.
Kofi Kingston won the title for the first time. A black man won the WWE World Championship at WrestleMania, about 20 years overdue. And, I mean, The Rock counts as half, right? I guess we don't really count. People don't count The Rock. People only count The Rock when it comes to everything else, but when it comes to wrestling, they go, oh, he's not really black, which is weirdly racist to say that. But it's like, okay, so Kofi wins, and then he's the champion for 6 months, and we liked him for about 3 months, and then after that he got super boring, and it was super weird, and he didn't really do anything, which I just blame on Vince about anybody. Did the same thing with Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan got wicked boring. Daniel Bryan only became interesting when Daniel Bryan was a heel, and he created the cannabis belt and all these other things. So, I don't know, man. What the fuck are you complaining about? 6 months with the belt? Jinder Mahal?
He was headlining for a lot of it as well.
Jinder Mahal had the belt for fucking 6 months too, or something.
Yeah, just about.
Jinder Mahal's not a... It's like, what are we doing? So now we're complaining more than ever? What do you want? What do you want the guy to be champion for a year? But I do appreciate Big E sticking up for his buddy, because that's what he should do, because he knows about Kofi, and I love Kofi. I went to wrestling. I wrestled Kofi once. The guy is a great fucking dude. He's an amazing guy. I love Kofi. His in-ring stuff, amazing. Guy should have been Intercontinental Champion a million times. That's what Kofi should have done. He should have been killing it in ladder matches for the NXT, for the Intercontinental Championship. But as far as a world champion who's like, I'm the world champion, it can only go so far with a guy who can't really speak that well and things like that. So, what are you going to do? But I do understand what Big E's saying, because there's a lot of frustration from a lot of different things coming out with what he's saying. But, again, I just find it weird, man. People should have been outraged back when Booker T didn't win that time, and now when the guy wins for 6 months, now it's kind of like when...
That was claims of racism valid.
That was crazy. Like, we'll never... Nobody will ever believe that Booker T didn't win the belt, dude. I was at WrestleMania fucking... Like, this was my face at WrestleMania when Booker T lost to Triple H. This was my face, because I saw the way they built it up, and like, oh my God, the racism and the fuck you, Booker, and you're not one of us, and those things. And we're at WrestleMania, and Triple H wins. The look on my face while watching that match at WrestleMania, this was the look on my face. And then I started thinking to myself, is he going to win on Raw or something? Is that what they're doing? They want to make sure it's on national TV maybe or something. So something will happen tomorrow night or on maybe that's what they're doing. Like, and then he didn't win it the next week either. And I was like because it was the biggest layup storyline ever. Like, layup. Like, this is definitely a heel. He's definitely a super bad person. He definitely said racist stuff to Booker T, and then Booker T loses, justifying everything Triple H said.
Gets pedigreed and then doesn't move for 30 seconds.
And then he gets pedigreed, and Triple H takes 10 years to cover him. And then it was obvious he was going to kick out, because it was too long. Like, he's been out for so long. One, two, three. Dude, I looked like this at my TV screen.
Yeah, your face just broke.
And I remember calling my friend, I called my buddy, after as soon as the match ended, I called my buddy and I go, are you fucking kidding me? And we're like, now they're going to do this is going to be one of those TV things where there's a rematch on TV for some reason. He's going to lay it on even thicker on TV the next night or whatever it was, and then he'll lose the belt. And then that didn't happen. I'm telling you, man, if you could have had... I must have been laughing. I think I was laughing. And I'm not much different now than I was back when I was... whatever I was at that. It was a 19 then or something, or 18. I was 17, maybe. I don't remember. No, I was 20 or something. What WrestleMania was that again?
That was 19.
19? Yeah, I was 19. I must have laughed like a psycho.
I know, I was shocked when this all came down.
I mean, then very similar. Cornelius in the chat. Oh no, who is it? TLGW Keith in the chat. Very similar when Triple H beat Sting.
Yeah, same reaction.
Not quite. It wasn't quite that bad, but it was very similar. Like, what? What are they doing? Like, what is this?
Actor Triple H. Hey.
Like I kept making I don't remember if we were live during WrestleMania. I think we did the post-show review, but we weren't live during Mania. But my reaction was almost like I kept looking around my room, which was filled with nobody. You know, I'm in my house alone, and I kept looking around like almost like there were dicks coming in my face, and I had to keep getting out of the way of them. And I kept looking around like as if that was going to change the result. I don't know. It was just really. It definitely was not as bad as Booker T, but it was.
I don't believe it. I believe it was just after.
Close second or third or something for Triple H. Hilarious though. Like it was kind of hilarious, like in a sad way. It was like, wow, this is really weird.
Smoke weed every day.
Serious.
Snake, I wanna piss on you and a J drip drip turn your face into my toilet seat. I wanna pee in your food. Haters wanna hate, lovers wanna love, I just wanna pee on you, piss on you, splash.
I wanna piss on you, your body. You'll never feel quite the same when you catch a whiff of my Hershey stain. Serious stroke game. Thanks for the donation, man. Dave Chappelle, great reference.
Great.
Best show ever.
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
Chappelle show.
Want some
Chappelle
bubbly?
show.
Look at this stuff. Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
I ain't the dude that was on Monetize This that got his feelings hurt from the other night. Also update on my brother, they wanna make sure there is no stones blocking the kidneys, doing surgery to remove them tomorrow and hopefully gets to come on Saturday.
All the prayers to your brother and you, man. We love you, Matt.
And no, the other day in the chat, you said you were leaving because you were ticked off about something. Unless it was a fake Matt, but you were.
Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was a fake Matt.
Could have been.
If
you
it
said that tonight too.
But he might be that he doesn't hold a grudge about things. Like he's like, all right, not a big deal. Christina Michelle Robideau, thank you for the subscription.
Fuck this, I'm out.
Robideau. Is that Robideau or Robideau? I think it's Robideau. Is it Robideau?
Robideau.
Christina, I'm sorry. My last name's Cronin. I'm a stupid Irish person.
Robideau.
I apologize.
Do a little basketball dance off the concrete. I mean, I'm just so sick of you little meth head devil worshippers.
You're damn right.
I'll be honest, I'd like to take a big bite out of your
You goddamn bunch of reptilian motherfuckers.
BLM doesn't care about why people, they're only using them as brainwashed pawns. Real Americans don't burn down businesses in protest. Be on the right side of history. Trump 2020.
James Metzler, thank you for the $10 donation. I don't 100% agree with you at all, but I do a little bit. I a little bit agree with you, but not 100%. Also not a big fan of a guy who puts protesters' lives at risk to take a picture with a fucking Bible in front of a church. But you do you, brother. I'll be voting for my dick in 2020. But I do get what you're saying, though. You're not wrong a little. I'm not fully disagreeing with you either. James Metzler, man, thanks for the $10, brother. You donate $100, I'll agree with you. Not just kidding. Don't do that, James. You're in fucking college. You
Win. Bobby Lashley or Apollo Crews? You got to pick.
I am going Bobby Lashley. Because if you don't make Bobby Lashley win, fucking what did you waste our time with?
What was the point of any of it?
Right. What was the... Dude, I will actually bust out in hysterics.
That should be the tagline for this pay-per-view. As the horror show and you'll never see it coming, for Payback, it should be, what the hell's the point, you know? What the fuck the point is, Vince? Because this is so thrown together so quickly a week after SummerSlam. Not just any other pay-per-view, your second biggest pay-per-view of the year. You're throwing together a full show a week later. So the next match we have is Bayley and Sasha, the Golden Role Models, defending their women's tag team titles against Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. The most random and worst pairing. Oh my God. I mean, but see, I can't even say ever because there's other bad pairings, but this one's especially bad. I mean, no one wants to see oh my God. No one wants to see Lana and Natalya together either, but the boats can deal with that nonsense. Originally, I said Bayley and Sasha have to lose their titles here. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's the story it seems to be going with. But then when they decided to have a makeshift team, again, go for the titles, it makes me very unsure that they're going to give the belts to Baszler and Nia Jax.
Yeah, I
Baszler and Nia winning is that they made that kind of deal where you help me get the belts and I'll leave you alone. And it seems like that's kind of where they want to go with it. So I think they're going to get the belts, but it's just going to be a very short title reign because they're not going to be able to work together long. So I think Bayley and Sasha lose, and Shayna and Nia have a very, very short title reign.
So you're telling me, so Sasha and Bayley are going to lose, they're going to feud, and then Shayna and Nia are going to lose, and they're going to feud?
Yeah, eventually. Shayna and Nia, they'll work together for a very brief period, but it won't work out. They'll lose the titles, and then they'll finally have their match.
So we'll get like the repeat story of each other's story within 3 months of themselves.
They're going to mirror each other. Yeah, precisely.
I don't know about all that, but I do know that I think you're right. I think they're going to put the belts on them because they've already got the belt off Sasha. Now they need to get the belts off the both of them so they can have Bayley versus Sasha. And I don't think they know what the fuck to do with Nia and Shayna. So put them together and let them have these belts and have these weird, awkward segments where they love each other or whatever. And maybe they think that they're so butch they should be in a team together.
Yeah, plus, as Matt pointed out, Shayna's supposed to be feuding with Asuka because she said to Asuka, I'll get you next.
Right.
If she won the title. So what's going on with that? I guess they put that on hold for the next pay-per-view as well.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the new Tom McDonald video. I like all Tom McDonald's videos. Why I like Tom McDonald is because he sort of says a lot of stuff that's obvious in favor of white people. Then he says a lot of stuff that's obvious in favor of black people. And he says a lot of stuff that's obvious about the current situations going on. And he really what I noticed is in one of his videos, he pissed off the right. And in another one of his videos the next week, he pissed off the left. And I think everything he said in both videos is true. And so that's because people's perspectives are different. I like that he sees it from everybody's perspective and puts it into a rap or a new music video. And I really identify with Tom McDonald from the different points of views that he puts out there that he kind of agrees with, even though they're kind of conflicting in many ways. So I really like the guy. I think he's great. I don't think he's the craziest rapper of all time or anything like that, but I just like his points that he makes in his videos a lot of times. And he kind of covers points for all sides. It's kind of amazing. And if you listen to some of his stuff, you'll see that. So, yeah, I've tried to get him on the show, and maybe we will get him on the show soon. So you can tweet him, Tom McDonald, on Twitter and tell him I want him on the Joe Cronin show, and we want him here, and we want to play his music, and we want to get him on here to talk about all this bullshit that's going on, and we want to have a big podcast with Tom McDonald. So harass him on Twitter and get him on my show because I've already emailed him about 7 times. So yeah, shout out to that. Appreciate that.
After that match, we have Keith Lee and Randy Orton.
Keith Lee, Randy Orton.
This is a bit perplexing. Keith Lee says, "Don't," as you mentioned in your video, he says, "Don't worry about what's going on with me. Just have faith. Enjoy the fact that I made my debut against Orton. Let's see if they don't screw him up." I don't know. It's hard to have any patience with WWE when it comes to NXT call-ups, though. I think Randy Orton wins here. He's on too much of a hot streak. He got rolled up by McIntyre, but that story is far from over, as we know, with him injuring McIntyre. I wish they played up more on Keith and Drew, being friends. They put out this great thing on YouTube of them two working out together when Keith was still NXT champion.
Yeah.
And they were kind of like sparring. It was a great back and forth. They told funny stories, showed a lot of character for McIntyre and for Keith as well. I don't know why they don't have that on TV. These are the kind of things we need to, because why would Keith care about Drew? Oh, we're best friends. Oh, are you? Because I've never seen you two interact before.
Right.
So those are the kind of things that we should be able to see, but I think Orton wins here, and Keith looks great, but gets RKO'd out of nowhere and gets pinned. I don't think they're going to do a DQ thing here. I think Orton's on too much of a tear.
There's a lot of things that could happen here. So you could have Randy straight up win, and Keith Lee puts up an amazing fight, but Randy wins. Or you could have Retribution shows up, screws up the match. Or you could have Drew McIntyre shows up, takes out Orton, and he loses the match, and Keith Lee wins because of Drew McIntyre. I don't think Keith Lee's winning. Randy just lost in a backslide. So I think the number one thing to go with for me in this is Keith Lee looked strong by having a unbelievable match with Randy Orton, but Randy Orton in the end gets the victory. He may cheat, but he's going to get the victory. And so I just think that how could you have Randy Orton lose again? So maybe there's a DQ. There's a whole bunch of different things that could take place. And the scapegoat or the out is the Retribution thing, but I'm going to go like you said. I'm going to go with what you said. Randy Orton wins, and they're going to make Keith Lee look like $1 million, but he can't quite get it done. But what does that mean for Keith Lee if he loses his first match on pay-per-view? Do we ever see him do? But they did the same thing They did the same thing. So if Keith Lee loses, you're going to have everybody be like, oh, see, now Orton beats the black guy. Well, AJ Styles beat Matt Riddle. So Matt Riddle showed up for his debut. Same thing. Put him on the map, had an epic match or whatever, close match, and then Matt Riddle in the end lost. That's sort of the same idea here, I would think. And if anything else happens, then wow, are they high on Keith Lee? Like if they have a DQ or they have Drew show up, they're super high on Keith Lee, even more than we even believed before, even more than Matt Riddle, because that means they didn't want Keith Lee to lose. That's crazy.
And that's exactly what Matt just said, what I was getting into. I think they're going to lead into a triple threat at some point with these three. So we're going to see Keith Lee versus Orton versus Drew.
Really?
Yeah, I think that'll come after the next... Once Drew finally comes back, and it'll take a little bit of time, but I think that's what they're going to go for. That's my guess as well.
Damn. So
Keith will lose here, but maybe Randy cheats again like he did during the greatest wrestling match of all time at Backlash. Like Keith's just about to win, low blow, RKO, gets the victory. Keith looks great, and then eventually we do get the triple threat. That's what I think they're going for.
Yeah,
I'm not so sure that Drew interrupts. As much as it seems like a good idea, they're really trying to sell this. He's hurt from the punts. All the kicks to the head really could have fractured his skull and ended his career. I mean, they're really making this a big deal. So, and then last but not least, we have The Fiend taking on Roman, taking on Braun. This is a no-holds-barred match for the Universal Championship, triple threat.
Wait, say it again?
The Fiend versus Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman. Triple threat, no-holds-barred.
So...
obviously it's a triple threat, so it's no DQ, but they're just saying no-holds-barred to spice it up.
So The Fiend is the champion, and...
The Fiend has the Universal belt. And then you got Roman coming back, and Braun...
Braun's gonna take the pin.
Looks like a moron. So yeah, Braun's definitely taking the pin.
Braun's taking the pin no matter what.
A lot of the rumor has been, and speculation's been, that Roman's immediately getting the belt back. I don't think he's going to get it back right away. I think by the next pay-per-view he'll get it, but I don't think this one.
Yeah.
I think that he's going to feud with Bray a little bit more. Some people seem to think that maybe Braun helps Bray because now that the Fiend can, play a role in the Monster's headspace. Maybe that has something. I'm not so sold on that, but I do see. I really think the Fiend's going to retain here, and then it's going to be a one-on-one victory that Roman beats the Fiend with next. That's my guess.
Right. I am going with Bray retaining or the Fiend retaining via Braun. Whether that's an interesting idea of them both. Braun almost changing and snapping and turning on and going after Roman. That'd be a better use of Braun because he sucks. But yeah, I'm just gonna go with Fiend winning, and giving Roman the belt would make him look real bad. I think that'd be going right back to what made people
push
hate
fans
Roman.
into a frenzy in a bad way
because people still like the Fiend, and although I don't care about any of these guys, so this match sucks to me. I hate the Fiend. I hate Braun. I don't really hate the Fiend, but really kind of uninterested in the Fiend. I don't like Roman, and I don't like Braun for sure.
I'm intrigued by Roman. I want to know if he's a heel or not. I want to see what's going on there. I have
what if Roman helps
sticks I can rub together to give a shit about Braun, and the Fiend I do care about. I am intrigued by his stuff as well.
What if Roman helps the Fiend?
Hey, I doubt it, but anything's possible.
What if Retribution shows up and beats the shit out of both? Is it a no DQ?
Yeah, it's a no DQ, so that's why I don't think they'll have Retribution get involved.
What if Retribution shows up and beats the shit out of Braun and Wyatt and dismantles them both, and then Roman pins them, and then that reveals him as the leader?
Hey, then a bunch of people would be right. I just can't see him.
But that'd be a better idea, though, than just whatever they were fucking.
Yeah, than just have the Fiend retain. I mean, at least then they're telling a story, but I don't see him being the leader. I just can't. I could be wrong, and hey, if I'm wrong, I'll admit it, but I just don't see that being the case. I really can't envision them going with Roman being the leader of Retribution.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem like the type of faction he would be a part of. Trying to destroy the WWE doesn't really make sense.
No, I know, but that's why
I can see him trying to like take over, or like the Hurt Business, something like that. But
that's why they could do it, because it's like you wouldn't see that coming, really.
Maybe.
But I don't care. I don't like it either. I'm not a fan of it either way. I hate the whole match. Like, I legit hate the whole match.
Yeah, the match leaves a lot to be desired. And you know what you get with triple threats as well. They're not always great. You really need 3 superb talents. And I don't think Braun's going to be, able to hold much of his own unless they use him for a few big spots like tables and stuff.
Right.
We'll see, though. The match he had with The Fiend wasn't terrible at SummerSlam.
By the way, the number one DJ Ran. You may know of DJ Ran. To be honest, he's a dude that goes back. You may recognize DJ Ran. You wanted to talk to me about perspective of on wrestling and African Americans and stuff like that. I think that'd be a really good podcast to have, and I'd love to talk about it. And so please message me later. We'll record it. Not tonight, but maybe tomorrow or on the weekend. I would love to do a talk about that and get some interesting comments from you. So I DM'd you on Twitter after you DM'd me. I know we've always talked for years here or there, and I'd love to talk about it. There's a lot of things could be talked about. So let me know.
There you go. It would be a hell of a podcast, that's for sure. But yeah, those are the 4 matches we have announced for Payback at this point in time. Hopefully it's a good show. I mean, we'll definitely be there to review it after it airs on Sunday, but we'll see what happens. I'm curious what other matches they add after SmackDown ends tomorrow. Maybe we'll try and cover those if they add a few more, before the pay-per-view goes ahead and kicks off. So,
alrighty, well, boom. We got it down, and see if we have any more donos popping up. WWE Payback. We're going to be live after Payback. We're live. Is there anything? There's just Payback Sunday, right? That's it.
Yep, Payback this Sunday, and then next Saturday is All Out. So,
all right. So, we're halfway to go, man. We got halfway to go. It looks like boom tonight. Not bad. Thank you guys for that. By the way, we may have some more coming in. The top donator so far is our buddy Soundwave92 came in with a $51 Area 51 dono earlier. So shout out to Soundwave92, the top donator of the stream. And let's see what else. We got a few more to clean up here.
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
That's it. AJ Adams.
Want some bubbly? Look at this stuff. Oh, a little bit of the bubbly. That's it.
I need some advice. My son is 18 and wants to go get a job, but I'm worried about him getting sick or getting shot by a cop. He says I need him to let him go and make his own way. What should I do?
You have to let the birdies fly. You have to kick them out of the nest. It is horrible, scary, and all of those things, AJ Adams. But you got.
You're never going to learn if you don't let them grow.
You got to let them. You got to let them. You got to let. Yeah, you got to let them. You got to let them fly, man. You got to let them take a chance. You got to let them do it.
They got to experience things firsthand, or else they're not going to be able to survive on their own.
I can't
they're
even believe
go out into life. God forbid, what happens if you die tomorrow and they have no life skills? How are they going to, balance a checkbook and cook dinner and things like this that you don't usually think about? Pay taxes, but you have to learn these things and how to, survive day to day. Don't always have parents there to do it for you. So
if you've always been there for your kid, like it sounds like you have been, that means you've already prepared them pretty damn well. Like, my father died when I was 8, but he was such a good guy and a nice man that a lot of that trend, stuck with me. And my mother too. My mother was like, "Oh, you want some cookies? I'm a mom, and I'll whatever." And her boyfriend was a psycho, drunken idiot. So I kind of have this split personality of dickish / really quiet, good guy. And so all those things stick with you. But really when you get outside of that is when you learn all these other things you never would have learned. I'm surprised I'm not dead, to be honest. There are some things that I'm like, damn, my mother let me do that. That's a little wild. But in the end, I'm just thankful that I had all my life experience and I got to make mistakes outside of my parents and whatever. So you gotta give them a chance to grow up on their own and make their own mistakes and make their own choices. You can't safety net them anymore and keep them cuddled in. As much as you want to do that, you can't do it. You got to let them go. It's scary, but you have to do it. You have to let them go. You protected them for 18 years. That was what you were supposed to do. But now it's on them. And you can't blame yourself if something does happen. But you check in with them, you try to see what's going on. If they have some kind of problem when they're 19, you notice they're drinking, and maybe they even you find out they drank and drive or something, you call them and you yell at them and you go, what the hell are you doing? And you try to set them straight or you try to fix what you're seeing going wrong. But you can't cuddle them anymore in the house. You got to let them go. You just got to do it. You got to make them aware, teach them as best you can, and make them aware of stuff, but don't make them a victim either. Don't say like, hey, listen, all the cops are going to kill you, but make them aware that, some people aren't going to treat you fair. And that's the story of life, is fair shit ain't going to happen. And so just do your best to be as peaceful as you can with people until you're, really, pushed against the limit. And that's about it. And it sounds like you're going to have a good kid, and just hopefully everything goes right. And that's what you got to do, man. In the end, I think we're all going to be eternal light. So hopefully it's all good, man. You don't know what you're going to do, Yeah, everybody's going to make their own decisions and try and live their own best life. Couldn't have said it better myself. Unfortunately, I got to get out of here. I got to go take some more medicine before I get myself sick. But everybody, have a great weekend. Boom. Enjoy yourselves. Stay sexy. Stay healthy. Take care of each other. Much love. And I will see you Sunday for the Payback review. Everybody, make sure you go ahead and give Joe some more love. Like the stream. And tune in tomorrow night on Corrupted Nation for Monetize This. It's going to be a big night. Lots of fun there. And who's the king of the wheel this week? I don't care. Bill and Ted 3's on tonight. No, I'm just kidding. No, that's right. Bill and Ted 3. Bird. We have that to look forward to as well. Bird is the king of the wheel this week. Bird 2393. Bird. That's right. Baby. You had me sing Bird's the word. Hell yeah, baby. And so This week, Bird puts his title on the line. Tomorrow night is Monetize This. If you guys don't check it out every week, tomorrow night, be on my other channel, Corrupted Nation. We're starting at 11 p.m. We're going to have a bunch of guests. It's going to be a fucking wild ride, all right? We might even get taken off YouTube. It's going to be so insane. So bring it on. Jake, good night, brother. Love you, everybody. Dude. Have a great night. Much love. Stay sexy. Kisses. Mwah. And remember, 9 unarmed white people were shot this year, too, and no one gave a shit. But no, don't let your son be a victim, but also make sure your son's aware of, that there could be some prejudice. Don't deny it. There could be some. But don't turn him into an SJW that thinks everybody's out to get him and he can't achieve things. You can achieve great things. You can achieve great things, even if you're up against it, even if sometimes things are stacked against you more than somebody else. You can still achieve great things. If a handicapped guy believed that he was unable to enter the Special Olympics or would never run again or would never do this again or that again, they would just sit at home all day. If a guy was like, I love running, I want to be a competitive runner, and then he loses a leg, you know what I mean? And then he just goes, well, I'm never compete again. I'm going home. Fuck that. No, he goes out and he competes in the Special Olympics or even the real one with the leg, and they work hard. And life just ain't gonna be fair all the time. And you got to. We try to fix it. We all do. We try to fix life so that life is fairer. We try to do that. That's what good people do. We come together and try to make it fair for everybody, and try to see the discrepancies and fix it. But just outright saying like, oh, fuck, we're up against it, we'll never win, or we'll never get this, or I'll never get that. Well, that's just a defeative attitude that sucks. Don't do that. Fight against that shit and fucking overcome it because a million other people have. And that's what winners do. It's amazing what winners do. So some of the biggest winners in the entire country and world and history have started out with the deck stacked against them. Constantly. It's a story you see played out in wrestling all the time where the deck is stacked against, and you can't believe how dastardly the bad guys are. But that's been a reflective of actual society. That's why we identify with the good guys so much in the bad guy fights. Because he's the underdog or he's up against it. We can all identify with that. And seeing somebody win who's like that. So don't you ever let somebody think that you can't achieve something even if you're up against it. No matter who you are. Joe, are you a motivational speaker? No. I don't know, man. I just care. I think that I see what's going on. And I see how people do well and when they do bad and when they don't. And when they get beaten down in their minds that they're going to be a failure and that they're up against it and don't even try and the world's against you and you're going to suck, it creates way more losers. And then especially if you don't have a father, it creates a loser or loser mentality or failure mentality. And it's like, I don't want that. I don't want you to do that. Even if you are up against it. Even if I'm up against it. I do it too. Sometimes I go, oh, what's the point? I'm gonna fucking, no. It's like JD, right? The guy never got banned off of Twitter in his life. He's called people all kinds of fucked up words that I've called people too, but I got banned for life on Twitter. It's like every once in a while I bitch about it, but I keep going. I make another one, and I make another one, and I make another channel, and I make another social media, and I continue. He's never had strikes to where he couldn't go live for 6 months. I did back in 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 6 months, 3 months, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, more weeks. He's never had that, but I've had it a million times over. I keep pushing and fighting. And I may not be the top dog, and I may not have more than some of these other people have, but at least, but it's never over for me. It's never over. You know what I mean? I might have done commentary for smaller companies for 7 to 8 to 9 years, and maybe he's only done commentary for a couple years now, but he may have be working for the biggest company. But I'm not going to give up. You know what I mean? Because somebody else gave him hey, just come on into this big company and start being an announcer. Meanwhile, I started at little fucking picnics with 15 people, 9 years ago now. I went to school for radio. I went to school for this and that. Well, whatever. It doesn't matter. There's no excuses. Keep being you and keep kicking ass, and somebody's going to take notice, and something's going to pay off eventually. Eventually, something will pay off. You will win eventually. You can't lose every time. But when you can lose? If you don't try. You're going to lose if you don't try. And you're going to lose if you give up. Losses are some of the fucking funnest shit ever. You ever take a loss and then you win like 7 times later? And then you're smiling at the losses? It's fucking great. A loss is great. Losing in life is amazing. It's like the best thing that can happen to you is losing. Because you learn when you lose. When you lose, you learn. And when you learn, you become smarter and more powerful. And when you become more powerful and smarter, the world just starts to look crystal clear. And it gets exciting. And then the wins start paying off. And if you just won from the start, you might not have, you basically might not have come out the person you are. It's like in high school, when you win in high school, or you become the prom king in high school, and everybody loves you in high school, and everything's kicking ass, and you're getting all this fucking stuff, and then a lot of those people turn out shit by the time they're 30 and 40. And they got to reinvent themselves and go through losing for the first time in their late 20s or their mid 20s or their 30s. And they go through losing. And they have to learn everything and come out a winner at 40 or 50. But if you start out on the bottom, you might come out a winner by 25 instead. It's crazy.
What else?
Shit's wild.
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
Want some bubbly? Look at this stuff. Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
That's it.
I never knew my father, so I did the best I could with my kids. They both want to make their own way, but I told them they have to get a gun license so they can protect themselves out on the streets. Don't be like me and get shot 3 different times. Be smart.
Jesus, you get shot 3 different times? What the fuck? By who? But also, AJ Adams, you could actually get your chances of getting hurt go up when you have a weapon, believe it or not. So, there's that too. Having a weapon could put you in danger.
A little bit of the bubbly. Want some bubbly? A little bit of the bubbly. Bubbly.
Let me come off that intro. Or 6/10 dive ins.
Hell. Andale Peasy, what's up, brother? 6 out of 10. I think that's where I'm at tonight with AEW as well. I think I'm at a 6 out of 10 as well. Thank you, Andale Peasy, man. And thanks to everybody. And rest in peace, the great Bullet Bob Armstrong. And we love him. We love you. And thoughts to the Armstrong family. Thank you to the $25 producers of the Joe Cronin Show for going above and beyond on Patreon. We have more content coming tomorrow and this entire week. Plus, the Corrupted podcast is coming this Saturday. And if you become a patron, you get access to over 1,000 podcasts that I've been a part of in the last 3 years. Tons of shit. Even if you become a $5 patron a month, you immediately get access to all of it. You could download all of it and then unpatron if you wanted. I don't know why you would, because we have live stuff and more stuff every single day and week, almost. But you could theoretically download about 1,000 things to a folder if you became a patron of $5 right now. You get thousands of dollars of content essentially for $5. It'd be crazy if you really wanted to go through downloading all of it. But you can search all of it. It's crazy. Patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show, or it's like it downloads to your phone. You get audio downloads of the shows. You save your data plan. It's just big. It helps the show, but you get tons of content you don't hear on YouTube. And it's a little bit more savage, too. A little more savage.
Thanks, Joe. I needed that.
You got it, brother. I mean, I lost my dad when I was 8, so I felt like, I did have a dad, but then I lost my dad, so I've always had loss and abandonment issues, so I'm going to be terrified when my kids are away from me. When I went down to WrestleMania for 3 days, I was terrified, bro, that something was going to happen to me or my kids. They weren't going to have me. So I totally understand what you're saying. Super understand. And especially, the world is scary, but I'm sure if you're a minority, it's even more scary because there's less people like you and you're worried about what other people are doing. So, I get that. But yeah, just be a winner, man. You got to let it happen, You just got to let him go. You got to let the kid fly. Even though it's hard. Because if you don't, you'll cause damage. You'll cause worse damage, to be honest.
Here in New England All-Star Wrestling.
All right, man. Cronin for commentary. Hit me up, promoters. I'm coming out to you. New York, New Jersey, New England, Florida, wherever I got to go. Oh, shit. Oh my God! It's a late donation from Junebug!
What if they killed us and ate our children?
Men on a mission! Men on a mission!
What if the turkeys ate us? What if they filleted us? If the turkeys ate us? If they had to hate us? Thanksgiving was a little bit different. Instead, the turkeys ate us. They gobbled us apart. But first they'd eat our nuts, and then they'd eat our butts. The turkeys ate us. What if the turkeys ate us?
Yeah, give me.
What if the turkeys ate us?
Yeah, give me. Give me.
What if they ate our
turkey
nuts?
Nuts.
What if the turkeys ate us instead of mashed potatoes? Instead the turkeys ate us.
Yo, it's turkey time, and it is my buddy, the $25 producer, Junebug. By the way, me and Junebug going to be doing a podcast coming at you this week. It will be available in full and audio to all patrons. And it will also be available on YouTube afterwards. Junebug and myself interviews podcast with a donator of the community and a producer behind the scenes with a producer of the Joe Cronin Show, Junebug. It's going to be epic. It's going to be epic stuff. Thank you, Junebug. That's fucking badass, brother.
You know all this stuff. A few other. Oh, here we go.
Oh, James, thanks for the host on Twitch. Yo, you need to... Junebug, what I want you to do right now, Junebug, is I want you to bask in his glory hole.
Everybody bask in my...
This is mess.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, James, thanks for the host on Twitch.
Fucking bask in my glory. You can all bask in my glory. Everybody bask in my glory. Bask in my glory. Oh, my glory. Oh, yeah, bask in it. Fucking bask in my glory. Oh, bask in my hole. All you hoes on my dock. My dick is hard, that's how you know. Gonna bask in my glory. Bask in my glory. Going bask in my glory. Bask in my glory. Oh, bask in my glory. Bask in my glory hole. Yo, bask in my glory hole. Yeah, going bask. Kiss my ass, I'm gonna count 1, 2, 3 while I slam you on the mat. How about that? I just fucked you up in the ring. You gon' sing a praise to me. What you think? Y'all can bask in my glory. All you cracker whiteys bask in my glory. I hope you die night to night in my glory. You can motherfucking bask in my glory. Bask, bask, bask in my hole. Glory hole. Glory hole, glory hole, glory hole, glory hole, glory hole, my glory hole. You a glory hole, my glory hole, my glory hole. Bask in his ass, get my glory hole, fucking hole. Bask in his ass.
That's the new Keith Lee theme right there. Boom.
Bask in his asshole.
Bask in his glory hole, everybody. Bask in that glory hole, son. What's up, everybody in the chat? How you doing, man? Junebug coming in with a late $29. Shout out to Soundwave for the top dono, $51. It's weird that I made that up on the spot. I feel like, though, if I took some time, I could really make Bask in His Glory Hole an epic song. I feel like if we took time and wrote the words out and came up with some ideas. But not bad for the freestyle, but we could really come up with some crazy shit. Dear, what the fuck is Tony sending me, dude? Whatever her name is. Yo, Lewis Money, what's up, man? Too sweet. Shout out to you guys for being members. Thanks for going down below, hitting the membership button, and becoming members, man. You getting the icons. Some people even have the Leah icon, my wife's picture. Some people have the middle finger. Some people have my wife's picture. I think eventually you get like Jake's photo or something like that. So shout out to you guys for being members down below, going above and beyond with that. And that's about it, man. Tomorrow night is Monetize This. Bird 2393 is the king of the wheel. Who's going to take home the king of the wheel tonight? I don't know. Tomorrow night, rather. I'm out of here. Thank you so much, guys. And we'll catch you tomorrow night. Here's some commentary.
Oh, man, look out. Strong boy stuff from Mike Verna. And a vertical suplex. He hits it. And now some of the crowd here in Kingston, Massachusetts at Pins starting to come on their feet. I want to remind you, Spring Breakdown, Robo vs. Jourdain, Thursday, March 12th, streaming live at 8 p.m. exclusively on Title Match Wrestling Network. Our sponsor here today. That's a big heavyweight. Oh, big heavyweight matchup, but here. Nasty chop by Mike Verna. Now Verna with Rex Lawless here against the guardrail on the outside. Oh, another chop. And breaking up the count, Mike Vernon, good stuff there. Mike Vernon's testing out the guardrail here as Lawless leaned up against the post. Here comes Vernon. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Oh, he might have broken his hand. What a mistake that was. Oh, and dropped down on his back on the corner of the apron. Hardest part of the canvas, and his spine went into it. What a big mistake there, though, by Mike Verna. He was trying to gain an upper hand on the outside. He broke up the count several times, and in the end, he took the most of the punishment. 1, 2, and almost. Man, the hand of Verna might be broken. He might have broken a finger. He certainly bruised himself, and look at that. Oh, my goodness, all the weight crashing down. 1, 2, that's it. Oh, no! Mike Verna at the last second just able to scream out of that pin. Well, he's in trouble. You can see the look on his face.
Come on, Rex, get it out. Let's go.
You can see the look on Mike Verna's face that he's in trouble. Man of steel, but hands aren't made of steel. He might have broken bones. And New England All-Star Wrestling. Now, oh my goodness. What a chop by Lawless. Rather was Mike Verna, and the bridge was really, really tough. Upstairs. And wait a minute, so is Inferno. He's back to his feet. He's back to his feet. New England All-Star Wrestling here in Kingston, and these people are witnessing a gem of a match. And now Mike Verna, look out! Can he hold him? Oh my God! 1, 2, 3, Mike Verna! Unbelievable! Unbelievable! The face of Lawless smashed off the canvas! He may have knocked him out! What a power move by the smaller of the two men! The man of steel, Mike Verna! Give this man his due! Ultimate payback! Ultimate fortitude! The stamina of Mike Verna paid off in this match against the bigger Rex Lawless. What a victory for the Man of Steel here in Kingston, Massachusetts. We are at Pins live. And here's look at the replay of that devastation from our sponsor, Title Match Wrestling Network. And look at this, able to hold on. And look at the back of the head of Rex. Knocked him out right there. What goes up must come down. And it did. For Mike Verna in this victory. He's got some fans here in Kingston. Folks, I'm Joe Cronin for New England All-Star Wrestling. We'll catch you next time. And don't forget to check us out live on Title Match Wrestling Network.
Super Chat Party.
After all these years, I just now learned that Road Dogg and Scott Armstrong are brothers.
Wow, I was about to end the show, but I saw your donation. I'm sorry, I almost missed it. Yeah, I've known that for a while too, but I do remember when I first found that out as well. But I've kind of always been a big fan of Bullet Bob Armstrong because of my father when I was younger, and so I kind of knew the Armstrongs pretty well, you know what I mean, as an even younger person. But what I didn't know was that Road Dogg was the Bullet's son for a while. I didn't even know that. And when I found out the Road Dogg was Bullet Bob Armstrong's son, I was like, holy shit, because I liked the Road Dogg. And my father wasn't a huge wrestling fan, but he was a little bit of one, and he told me about some of the guys. And one of the guys he told me about when I was into Hogan and Macho Man and stuff like that was like the Bullet Bob Armstrong and Killer Kowalski and people like that. And I just was blown away when I found out probably like 98 or I don't know. It was some point I found out later that Road Dogg, and I was like, wow, holy shit. Like it blew my mind. So I can identify with that though. So kind of wild, man. Thank you for the donation. One more? You want one more commentary? Well, I just want to shout out VXS Wrestling. They're good guys. Check them out on Twitter. Check out their websites. New England All-Star Wrestling coming back to New England soon, we hope. And also Top Rope Promotions. I want to shout out all the wrestling companies that I've been doing work with this past year. So yeah, I guess I'll give you one more or something. I don't know. All right. I'm out, though. Thank you very much.
We got more wrestling action for you here. New England All-Star Wrestling. I'm Joe Cronin, and here comes Danny Miles debuting here at New England All-Star Wrestling in our junior heavyweight division. What an introduction, and what a veteran here on the New England scene and throughout the Northeast and all of the United States, really. I've been calling Danny Miles matches getting in the face of Watson, who's already out here. Danny Miles, I've been calling his matches for over 5 years. This guy is absolutely tenacious and devastating. And he's arrived here in New England All-Star Wrestling. Who knows how much that chain weighs that he has there, too. 100 pounds, 150 pounds, who knows? Wears it around his neck. Watson here, looking to make a name for himself here in New England All-Star Wrestling. And here comes the bell. Ducks under a clothesline. Danny Miles. Oh, Watson is some right hands. Watson firing away on Miles. Trying to cover up his Danny Miles. Watson attacking the legs now. The hamstrings. A drop kick sends Miles back a few feet, and Miles absorbs it. And here comes Miles with a drop kick right to the face. Might have caught him with that Psycho knee kick. And Miles out. Cannonball. Smashing the face of Watson like a car wreck. Come here. Danny Miles, all intensity. And now with Watson up. This could be it right here. Up and down, the double knees, right to the chest, but it knocked the wind out of Watson. 1, 2, and who? What are you doing? Miles actually might have picked him up off the canvas himself. I thought the match was over right there. Miles, wait a minute, now Miles with Watson here with this. The legs he's got full control of the lower extremities with those legs wrapped around Watson. And now a rear naked choke. A chokehold submission by Miles. Submission here. Watson is out. Watson is out. That's it. That's it. The referee calls for the bell. Danny Miles has made unbelievably short work of Watson here. Goodness, what a debut for Danny Miles in New England All-Star Wrestling. Wow, if you blinked, you missed this match. That is how sadistic and intense and dangerous Danny Miles is. Some of the people in this crowd's shocked right now. It was a devastating kick to the face and this cannonball that really ended it for Watson. After this, I don't think he knew what was up and what was down. And Miles put him away with the submission move. The competition is getting pretty fierce here in New England All-Star Wrestling. What's up, wrestling fans? I'm Joe Cronin. We're back here. Making a name for himself all over the world as far as wrestling goes. Evolve Wrestling, Ring of Honor, just to name a few. And Retro AG going over the top. Oh, here he goes. He's looking for that unprettier. Oh, no, look out. Oh, back suplex countered by Brian Pillman Jr. He had it scouted. To the corner he goes. Oh, back elbow to the jaw. Might have separated. Retro AG. Oh, power slam. 1, 2, 3. No. So close for Brian Pillman Jr. All right, to the corner. Off the second rope. What a cutter. What a cutter. 1, 2, and oh, no. Separation there from Brian Pillman Jr. Oh, my goodness. And here we go. It's a slugfest. Retro AG firing. Brian Pillman Jr. firing. And back we go. Seesaw with these vicious strikes to the heads. How much more can these men take? Brian Pillman Jr. Oh, that shot right to the spine. And a lariat to the back as well. And now Fisherman. Oh, man. 1, 2, 3. No. Springboard. Oh, no, he slipped. Oh, super kick. A big mistake by Brian Pillman Jr. Oh, look out. Here we go. Look out. Yes. Oh, super unprettier. The retro ride. 1, 2, 3. Anthony Green to face Brian Pillman Jr. Oh, she wrote one mistake by Brian Pillman Jr. And Retro AG saw it and he capitalized. You got to give it to him. Even Brian Pillman Jr. giving him a slap to the hands, although he's infuriated with the mistake, obviously. But Retro AG is going to go on to the Junior Heavyweight Championship 4-way match this April at Turbulence.
Pour me a beer, you've got a new subscriber.
Yo, shout out Windmill for the sub. Love you, buddies. We'll shout anybody else next time on the show. Pour him a beer. Good night, folks. And I'll see you on Twitter at JCS Commentary and on Patreon at patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. Good night.